nuclear-armed Iran. We ask God to protect all of our heroes in harm's way, and we trust that, with his help, the men and women of the armed forces will prevail. We have the greatest in the world, and they will prevail. To the members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, the armed forces, and all of the police, I say tonight that you must lay down your weapons and have complete immunity, or, in the alternative, face certain death. So, lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death. Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass. May God bless the brave men and women of America's armed forces. May God bless the United States of America. May God bless you all. Thank you.
Interesting. That was an excellent message, just on its face as a message. Well, here we go. Can't wait to see what we're gonna find here today. I guess that sets aside all the geez, maybe I don't know. Golly, all this stuff that just went down with Anthropic and OpenAI. I don't know. The longer this is all going on, the less and less I think that's a coincidence. It all happened so quick, all at once. I was reading a fascinating, actually, AI-generated report on all this the other day, just last night. Just bizarre. What's going on right now? Crazy, crazy stuff going on. I don't even know how to explain what I read here, so I'm not even gonna try. But well, let's see what does Palantir's Carp have to say on this. I don't think I actually watched this. Probably fell asleep.
A small island in Silicon Valley that would love to decide what you eat, how you eat, and monetize all your data should not also decide who lives in your country and on what your conditions. There are elections, there are rules, they should be enforced. A transfer of one president.
Oh, yeah, okay, this isn't related to Iran and all that. It's something else. Okay, well, let's jump into the pile here. There we go. Cool.
Targeting, one of the first strikes was targeting Iran's supreme leader's compound, Ali Khamenei, who has been the leader of Iran since 1989. If you can imagine, he's the longest serving leader in the Middle East. His compound was targeted, and I think they probably wanted to lure the Iranian leadership into some bit of complacency and assuming that they would be home or in their offices during daylight hours. It also is a sign that they feel pretty confident that they control the air above Iran and that the air defense systems are not as strong as they were last summer. They were targeting, one of the first strikes was targeting Iran's supreme leader's.
Yep. So did they took him out? That's what I thought I heard, but
called the Gang of Eight to give them.
yeah, Marco Rubio briefed the Gang of Eight before all this went down. Or at least
Heads up.
briefed 7 of them. Anyway, couldn't reach the last one. Iran's response to the U.S. strikes are ineffective,
They are
obviously.
based on intelligence about leadership and gatherings of leadership and knowing where they are or were. And we can confirm that the Ayatollah's, the supreme leader's compound was hit very hard. We just don't know exactly what comes from that. But if you look back
I'll tell you what, a fried body, yeah, probably lots of bodies.
at the last time Israel went
One of them with that goofy ass looking beard.
inside and bombed leadership positions in June,
And that stupid turban.
they had intel on the ground about leaders meeting in one room, and then they took out the room and erased a lot of senior leadership for Iran in that June attack. It's very possible that the daylight strike this morning is based on active intelligence that happened based on where those leaders were and meeting.
Good point.
You know, Brett, to that point also, you know, we were expecting, at least the military, the United States and Israel were expecting to hear something from the Houthis or Hezbollah because they are, in fact, the proxies. Do you think because Israel, with of course the support of the United States, have dismantled them so much that that may be the problem here, why we're not seeing rockets coming from those areas? What do you know?
Yeah, listen, all of these terrorist proxies have been diminished, in part because of previous attacks by Israel and the U.S., but also in part because they're not getting the funding and the support from the mothership of Iran because of the really
Well, who are they getting it from?
stranglehold of sanctions.
Huh.
Based on intelligence.
وای به تو زدن وای ای زدن به تو زدن وای چیکار کرد وای
All right.
به تو
More footage of the attacks. What an odd, fascinating combination of like everything's on fire and burning, smoking. They're all partying. They're having a good old time. Okay. Thanking Trump.
Create real peace, you have to do these kinds of actions just like happened.
Well, what are they asking Fetterman about? Fetterman just called out those who oppose strikes on Iran, saying Trump is a real peacemaker, does it through action. Thus far, I'd say he's He's more or less proved that.
Just like last year too, when they to destroy their nuclear facilities. You know, sometimes peace is possible after these kinds of steps, and that's why I support those things. And you know, I listened to my
Support
colleague
those
from South Carolina
things and
earlier,
that
and I
stuff.
had the option, I mean, to talk to him before the State of the Union speech.
Oh dear God!
Did as well. And so
You can do it, buddy. You
support
can get it
these
out.
kinds of things, and I'm proud to stand with our military and Israel through this, and that's what's the right thing.
Yeah, you posted on X.
You can do it, Fetterman.
You said Operation Epic Fury. President Trump has been willing to do what's right and necessary to produce real peace in the region. God bless the United States, our great military, and Israel. You have others like Thomas Massey who wrote this: acts of war unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is attacking Iran, according to the AP. What is your response to Massey and to your colleagues?
Right? Isn't that bizarre? Yeah, Culpernon says Weird Fetterman seems to be the lone Democrat that's coherent, and he's like literally a retard. Yeah, I know. It's like some weird cosmic joke or something. It's like the only sane Democrat in the world. Their entire party is a babbling idiot.
Who don't agree with this?
No, that's
God bless him. I mean, he's
bizarre. You know, I'd like to remind my colleague.
Yeah. No clue.
Unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is others like Thomas Massey who wrote this: acts of war unauthorized by Congress. The U.S. is attacking
All right, what are they? They're continuing in Fetterman here. What?
Iran, according to the AP. What is your response to Massey and to your colleagues who don't agree with this?
No, that's bizarre. You know, I'd like to remind my colleague over in the House that Iran massacred 30,000 of their own people right now. This war is not about the Iranian people. It's about this poisonous regime. And that's why I'm proud to stand with our military. I'm proud to stand with Israel, too. I might be a Democrat, but in this specific case, the president is absolutely correct to do these kinds of actions. And now we have Israel's back. And now that's why it's entirely the path for peace in that region. How many treaties, how much negotiation? I never thought they would work. Iran has only ever responded to these kinds of things. And now here we are right
to these kinds of thing.
And they have the opportunity, real peace, and to
No idea.
change their way, committed to trying to destroy Israel and destabilizing the entire region. Bizarro world. Okay. Good Lord.
Like Thomas Massey.
Nope. We already saw you. Okay, what's Thune saying? For years, Iran's relentless nuclear ambitions, its expanded ballistic missile inventory, and its unwavering support for terror groups in the region have posed a clear and unacceptable threat to U.S. service members, citizens in the region, many of our allies. Despite the dogged efforts of the president and his administration, the Iranian regime has refused the diplomatic off-ramps that would have peacefully solved these national security concerns. I commend President Trump for taking action to thwart these threats. Mike Johnson, today Iran is facing severe consequences of its evil actions. President Trump and the administration have made every effort to pursue peaceful and diplomatic solutions, so on and so forth. It's the same stuff that Thune said. You get the idea. For the first time ever, yeah, I just want more footage. I want more like boom, boom, bang celebration stuff. Okay, I want to see what they're doing over there.
Military used some new capabilities in these strikes. For the first time ever, the U.S. military used one-way attack drones in combat. I think we're the first to report that. There were hundreds of targets in what is being described to me as a multi-day operation. The Iranian
It's going to be a big day for tests of, like, real-world tests of Automated weapon systems. Yep.
Response has been ineffective, I'm told, but then I'm also getting reports that a large number, possibly 135 Shahid drones, those are Iranian drones, may have targeted the U.S. Navy base, the head of Fifth Fleet in Bahrain, and may have struck targets there. But again, we don't have the battle damage assessment yet. We're waiting for CENTCOM to see what has been struck, and we expect to get a briefing later today. The U.S. military used some new capabilities in these strikes.
You know, I'm going to go ahead and guess that some of them probably had something to do with all that stuff that went down with OpenAI and Anthropic just yesterday or a day or two ago or whatever it was. Let me see if I can find some stuff on that. Sorry, my nose is still... Excuse me, just pouring gross crap from being sick. Ugh. So I guess what happened was Anthropic, obviously the other day, said, no, you can't use our systems for, well, the stuff that you need to use it for. So Trump cut them off. And then OpenAI stepped in and were able to come to some sort of agreeable position on the subject of red lines where their tech would and would not be used. And here we are. Obviously, something important happened that, some threshold was crossed that brought us here, because... I mean, just what, like a day later? Come on. Come on, give me a good one on this. Not with stupid-ass Dario's dumb idiot face. Yeah, they are hamming up Dario. Look at this loser with his CBS interview. Ridiculous garbage. Puff piece still comes off like a little douchebag. Not that Altman's much better, but as far as I'm concerned, never touching Claude again. That is bullshit. All right, give me a real one.
President Trump is ordering all federal agencies to stop using Anthropic's AI technology. The San Francisco company and the Pentagon remain at odds over guardrails designed to put limits on the military's use of its AI. Our Jolene Kent has been following these developments very closely, and she explains what's at the root of this standoff.
The standoff between Anthropic, one of the world's most powerful AI companies based here in San Francisco.
What's really at the root of this standoff is whether the United States as a country dies or doesn't.
And the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. is still very much at a standstill. Now, President Trump today weighing in, ordering all government agencies to stop using Anthropic's products over the next 6 months. The idea here is that there has been no agreement by Anthropic to allow its technology to be used unrestricted by the federal government. The federal government, the Pentagon specifically, wants 2 restrictions lifted from Anthropic's popular Claude product. First, the potential for mass surveillance of Americans, and 2, the ability for its AI to be used in fully autonomous military action. The Pentagon says it's already agreed to not conduct those 2.
Silly. Already got mass surveillance. And the second one, which is the sticking point, is bullshit.
2 exceptions that the Anthropic is asking for, but Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei saying overnight in a statement that he cannot agree with what the Pentagon is asking for because he wants to maintain these restrictions instead of allowing the Pentagon to have unrestricted access to its AI. So now the drama continues. The government contracts being canceled by President Trump himself, and Anthropic here deciding what they should be doing next. We'll keep you posted on how this impasse develops. But what we can say is that this has been a moment-by-moment story story that has resulted in absolutely no resolution so far. Back to you.
Jolene, thank you for that. Now, earlier today,
Yeah, I don't know. I wish I knew more of the details about what exactly they were saying behind closed doors, trying to get them to agree or not to. Maybe one day we'll know.
And let me know if you...
All right. Oop. Here we go. Next up. See that?
Capable aircraft in the world.
Yeah. All right. X is now filtering out a massive amount of Iranian bots. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of them. Immediately after strikes on Iran, they're all over the place. Have been for years. Ah. UN Security Council meeting requested by Russia in connection with U.S. and Israeli attack on Iran. Scheduled for 4 p.m. today. New York Times. Yes. Creepy. So weird. All right. Stunning historic irony unfolding. The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia now stands shoulder to shoulder with Israel and the United States in military action against Iran's Ayatollah and his IRGC. Iran's supreme leader launched the October 7th barbarism to derail the Abraham Accords. Instead, he accelerated the unthinkable for the first time in history. Saudis and Israelis are jointly operating against the Iranian regime. A de facto militarized Abraham Accords is being forged in real time. Huh. I don't know. This claim's not true. The condemnation of the attacks? I don't know. Let's translate this. Jeez. No, it's condemning Iran's aggression. Okay. Just wanted to be sure there. Yeah. It is condemning Iran. All right. Iran's defense minister Amir Nasirzadeh, or whatever, and the Revolutionary Guards commander Mohammad Pakpour reportedly killed. Ooh. Darn it. There we go. Rabbi Anna Polina Luna just revealed that Bill and Hillary Clinton do not believe that Epstein killed himself following their testimonies. She mentioned that Epstein died in mysterious circumstances. Today, President Clinton's response was very uncomfortable. He said, "I'll yield to the autopsy reports. You could tell that that was not what he felt the truth to be. You'll see that in the recorded deposition. Fascinating." Whoa.
Are confident Epstein killed. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who deposed both Clintons, said neither Bill or Hillary are confident Epstein killed himself. And she joins me now. Congresswoman, you must have been shocked when you heard that.
Yeah, it was towards the end of Secretary Clinton's deposition that she had made a mention that Jeffrey Epstein died in mysterious circumstances, or died mysteriously. And then today, when Representative Boebert had asked President Clinton about the circumstances surrounding his death, his question and response was very uncomfortable. And he said, well, you know, I'll yield to the autopsy reports. But you could tell that that was not what he felt I think, the truth to be. And you'll see that in the recorded deposition. And so I thought that that was interesting because Hillary does not mix her words.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna.
Yep. What? Hillary Clinton got into a screaming match with Nancy Mace over who knows what, and she frantically realized it was being taped. She didn't know it was being taped. Secretary Clinton definitely lost her cool. Rep Mace was pushing her. Let's hear it.
There was an accusation that there was a screaming match.
When do we get to see them? They're supposed to like air that shit on C-SPAN, right?
It was an accusation, Jesse. It definitely, Secretary Clinton definitely lost her cool.
What happened?
Representative Mace was pushing her. I think the question was something along the lines of her basically not doing anything regarding the trafficking, or it got into a pretty heated exchange. And the secretary did lose her cool, and they were yelling at each other. And then she kind of realized that I think it was being recorded and kind of collected herself again. But that was not an exaggeration by Representative Mason. That will come out. And I think it was stupid for their spokespeople to deny that.
Yeah, we're going to see that video on Monday. Was Representative Mace being respectful? Was she also just getting under her skin? Like, what was the dynamic?
I think Representative Mace has taken this obviously very seriously because she is a victim herself. But I think the aspect was that Representative Mace kept trying to cut it and say, okay, we'll go to Rep Luna now. And then Secretary Clinton was still obviously visibly upset and wanted to continue arguing. And so eventually it continued forward. But I think the whole idea that someone would give the impression, especially being that they were around an intelligence asset, and you can see that you just presented evidence of that, that they shouldn't maybe answer about whether or not they were compromised, were state secrets shared accidentally. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell specifically was, from President Clinton's own words, I think that he was more closer to her than Jeffrey. But even then, so, I mean, I asked the same conversation and questions in that what was she specifically asking for? And so it's in my professional opinion that they were both targeted, as well as other people as well.
Oh. Keir Starmer. Moron. What an idiot. All right, let's see his statement on Iran.
Earlier this morning, and Israel struck targets in Iran. Iran has since launched indiscriminate strikes across the region. I know the British people and communities across our country will be deeply concerned about what this means for security and stability, and for the fate of innocent people across the region, which for so many of us includes friends and family members. So whilst the situation is evolving very quickly, I want to set out our response. The United Kingdom played no role in these strikes, but we have long been clear the regime in Iran is utterly abhorrent. They have murdered thousands of their own people, brutally crushed dissent, and sought to destabilize the region.
So basically the same thing that you're doing?
Even in the United Kingdom, the Iranian regime poses a direct threat to dissidents and to the Jewish community. Over the last year alone, they have backed more than 20 potentially lethal attacks on UK soil. So it is clear they must never be allowed to develop a nuclear weapon.
Nuclear weapons.
The primary aim of the United Kingdom and our allies, including the US. I condemn Iran's attacks today on partners across the region, many of which are not parties to this conflict. We extend our support and solidarity to them as part of our commitments to the security of our allies in the Middle East. We have a range of defensive capabilities in the region, which we've recently strengthened. Our forces are active, and British planes are in the sky today as part of coordinated regional defensive operations
Okay.
to protect our people, our interests, and our allies. As
It's supposed to be impressive, or?
In line with international law. We've stepped up protections for British bases and personnel to their highest level. We are also reaching out to UK nationals in the region and doing everything we can to support them. I've been speaking with leaders today from the E3 and across the region. It is vital that we prevent further escalation and return to a diplomatic process. We want to see peace and security and the protection of civilian life. Iran can end this now. They should refrain from further strikes, give up their weapons programs, and cease the appalling violence and repression against the Iranian people, who deserve the right to determine their own future in line with our long-standing position. This is the route to de-escalation and back to the negotiating table. Thank you.
All right. Oof. Queer Starmer. All right. Iran released footage showing missiles being fired in retaliation for U.S.-Israel strikes. That's just a blurry mess. Could have done better with AI. Okay. Today is Bill Clinton's. Oh, well, that's technically yesterday, but whatever. James O'Keefe. I guess it just. Excuse me. I guess it got posted. Yeah, it was posted yesterday morning. All right. Today is Oversight Committee hearing on Epstein with Bill Clinton. O'Keefe got undercover footage of a senior DOJ investigator confirming there's footage of Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein having sex with underage victims on his plane.
It's not talked about yet, but it's soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA
Or he wasn't a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. It's not talked about yet, but it's soon come out that he was a CIA informant.
He was a CIA
Or he wasn't a CIA. I think he's protecting a lot of other people. He's not protecting himself because there's nothing there, but he's protecting a lot of people. Because Trump's now saying it's a hoax, it's the case like a hoax or something. I mean, come on, you know it's not a hoax. He's been on the plane, many times. It's just he was never on the plane with the kids. I've seen the itineraries and I've interviewed all the victims. There's never been an instance where Trump was on a plane with these kids and a rape occurred. But that can't be said for Clinton, and it can't be said for others. While the Clintons were on the plane, while Bill Clinton was on the plane, there were rapes that occurred.
Overheard at Phoenix Airport on September 8th, 2025, a senior Justice Department investigator who personally worked on the Epstein case tells all. Glenn Prager, who has reviewed Epstein itineraries and has interviewed Epstein's victims, drops a bombshell. He says that the DOJ did not want to go after Epstein because he's a CIA asset, that the evidence from his investigation confirms that Bill Clinton was present for alleged rapes on the Lolita Express, and that President Trump was not present for the rapes that Glenn Prager investigated.
Yep. Remember this one from... Interesting. All right. Bill Clinton is cooked. He's already committing perjury in his opening statement. What kind of country are we if we let child traffickers and abusers walk? Good question. What do you say? Statement to the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee. Though my brief acquaintance with Epstein ended years before his crimes came to light. Okay, Bill. And though I never witnessed, during our limited interactions, any indication of what was truly going on, I am here to offer what little I know so that it might prevent anything like this from ever happening again. That's funny. But before we start, I have to get personal. You made Hillary come in. Get your hands off my wife. Shit. Okay, Bill. No one's buying it. She had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. Nothing. She has no memory of even meeting him. She neither traveled with him nor visited any of his properties. I don't believe that. I don't think that's true. In fact, I think we already know that that's not true, but whatever. Whether you subpoena 10 or 10,000, including her, was simply not right. First, I had no idea of the crimes Epstein was committing. No matter how many photos you show me, I have two things at the end of the day that matter more than your interpretation of those 20-year-old photos. I know what I saw, and more importantly, what I didn't see. I know what I did, more importantly, what I didn't do. Oh, boy, these are Clinton one. These are like... This is just like Lewinsky all over again, man. Jeez. I saw nothing, and I did nothing wrong. Did not have sex with that child. Woman. Child? Joe Biden spotted on a commercial flight today, heading to an event in South Carolina, smiling, waving, and looking just fine. For, you know, a geriatric, freaking 100-year-old nursing home patient. Like, look at him. You don't look a day older than 100, Joe. She's getting video of it. You see that? Gotta put that shit on her social media, yo. Joe Biden on a commercial flight. That's fantastic. What is he doing here? He just took some lady's phone.
Welcome to South Carolina, Biden. Look at Biden. Go ahead. I got my video. You go ahead.
What, did she want him to take a selfie of himself on her phone?
Go ahead, Pelosi.
I don't get it. Bizarre. When I talked to Secretary Rubio, Schumer says, I implored him to be straight with Congress and the American people about the objectives of these strikes and what comes next. Iran must never be allowed to attain a nuclear weapon, but the American people do not want another endless and costly war in the Middle East. Well, I can promise that they're not going to get that, so. Isn't that nice? The administration has not provided Congress and the American people with critical details about the scope and immediacy of the threat. Blah. Bullshit. Ilhan Omar gets community noted on X for spreading misinfo about the Iraq War. What? What'd she say? Iraq was attacked, she says, by the U.S. during Ramadan. And it is sickening to know that the U.S. is again going to attack Iran during Ramadan. She screeched Thursday night. Disgusting bitch. Pardon my French. Ay. All right, can we see her saying it? Where is it? Screech. I was promised screeching. I don't see screeching here. Oh, well. Solomon.
Today we told you that new documents we got showed that Fani Willis was was working secretly behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
With the Biden Justice Department.
Oh yeah.
Biden White House and the J6 Democrats to create a double jeopardy, double drain on Donald Trump's supporters by creating a similar indictment to Jack Smith, but in Georgia, to move resources and lawyers and attention span and divide it. We're supposed to have a justice system that avoids double jeopardy, but in this case, you can see the plot being created by these lawyers and by the collaboration. Today, we raise a question, or we provide some evidence to a question that Jim Jordan raised about a year ago, the House Judiciary Committee chairman. He believed that Fani Willis's prosecution of Trump was being underwritten by the Justice Department because he saw a stream of funding. What we see, what we've provided to the public, is an unusual situation. In the middle of Fani Willis building her case against Donald Trump and 18 of his allies to charge them with conspiracy and racketeering in Georgia to double up on what Jack Smith charged in Washington, the Justice Department comes to Fani Willis and says, hey, we just want you to apply for this grant, and we're going to take this grant, which is normally competitive, we're going to make it non-competitive. Basically, you're the only one that's going to get the money. Just fill out the paperwork and take your cash, about $2 million. It's that classic Washington grant.
Must be nice.
Kids.
Yes.
Not really much specificity, but they move it from competitive to sole source, meaning that it's wired just for her. It looks like the old Boss Hogg way of doing business, or Tammany Hall way of doing business. And I think for Jim Jordan or Barry Loudermilk, who was on our show last night investigating January 6th from the Judiciary Committee, this is a pretty serious issue for them to investigate. This looks like a gift grant to Fani Willis while she's doing the bidding of Joe Biden to pursue and tie down Donald Trump and his friends in a criminal prosecution in Atlanta. It looks just like Tammany Hall, Chicago-style politics, and there's now a complete body of documents for Congress to look at this. It's a pretty clear case of what's going on.
Oh. Fanny. Naughty girl.
Today we told you.
Of course. Virginia Democratic lawmakers vote to give themselves a damn near 300% pay raise. 300%. 278. It's obscene, man. It's disgusting. Okay. Israeli media reporting that Khamenei was killed Other reports, of course, denying that. Who knows? Who knows what's going on with that? I don't know if maybe it's since been confirmed or not. It was hours back, so.
A task force. The secretary is right now at Mar-a-Lago with President Trump, tracking and overseeing all the events as they unfold in real time. He is also now standing up a task force that is meant to help American citizens across the region who are stranded or otherwise facing danger. We don't yet know whether those government efforts are going to include government-sponsored evacuations for Americans to come back here to the United States. This administration did offer those kinds of flights last time around during and after the 12-day-long war. We're also learning this morning that Secretary Rubio did brief Congress, as he is required to do ahead of these U.S. airstrikes. He was hitting the phones, we are told. He managed to reach 7 of the 8 members of the key so-called Gang of 8. This comes also after he briefed all of them on Tuesday. We covered that here for you as well. Kaylee, the secretary is right now at Mar-a-Lago.
The Iranian General Sardar Jabari said the missiles launched so far are older systems and warned that soon we will unveil the weapons you have never seen before.
ما برای این ترامپ بداند ما
Trump Donald.
برای اینکه سالها با شما بجنگیم از
Durka Mohammed Jihad.
پیشرفت
Bakala Durka Mohammed.
این امکانات امروز برخورداریم. اول جنگ هرچی ته انبار داریم میزنیم، اما در ادامه قوی ترین موشک هامون رو خواهیم زد. اون چیزی رو که تا الان رو نکردیم و به قول ما بچه ایرانی‌ها تو آب نمک خوابوندیم، اونها رو هم این روزا رو خواهیم کرد.
Durka La.
ترامپ
Dirk.
Protest.
Here we got people in the streets, I guess, in the UK, Iranian.
Speak to Dr. Venus Shapari, one of the organisers of this protest from Stage of Freedom. Venus, you were telling me the atmosphere this week is very, very different to previous protests due to what we've seen in Iran this morning.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Thank you for being here. People in Iran are very happy because this was a humanitarian intervention that the United States and Israel, they decided to go ahead with this intervention this morning. People are very happy, despite that President Trump even was saying stay at home to be safe. We can see from the footages just released this morning that people are happy in the streets, celebrating, the distributing sweet between each other and dancing in the street. The atmosphere is going to be very different. We've just started preparing the demonstration today. We're organized for every Saturdays at the Stage of Freedom, and as you can see, we just started the program. We're going to be marching from here to the Iranian embassy. Our message is very clear to the world and to the United Kingdom government. We expect them to really stand with the Iranian people, stop appeasement with the Iranian people, Iranian regime, because Iranian people are very important what they want.
Very nice. Iran telling vessels that they are closing the Strait of Hormuz. Over 20% of global oil supply potentially coming to a halt. Don't worry, that won't last. Yeah. 3 Alabama women indicted for, filling out multiple absentee ballots and false applications. They look nice.
3 women accused of...
But I thought black people were too... I won't even say it out loud.
3 women accused of...
I thought they were incapable of getting ID. Apparently, they're capable of coming up with a scheme like this, but can't get ID.
Rigging a bunch of absentee ballots. Court documents filed today in Monroe County reveal a grand jury indicted 67-year-old Sharon Denson, 46-year-old Samantha Kiles, and 59-year-old Sarah Bennett for illegally filling out and submitting ballots during the Frisco City municipal election in August of 2025. Those same records show Denson changed 7 people's ballots, Kyles altered 4 people's ballots, and Bennett changed 9 people's ballots. The criminal charges follow a civil lawsuit that was filed last September by former Frisco City Mayor Alan Lang, who lost the August election. In it, Lang is challenging the vote count, saying 131 illegal absentee ballots were counted, which changed the results. According to the lawsuit, 85 people falsely claimed they would work a 10-hour shift on Election Day to justify voting absentee. People claimed they were physically disabled and couldn't vote in person. And
I'm too retarded to vote in person.
At least 13 people who didn't live in the town.
This one needs to get her herded.
Rigging.
That won't be happening now, though. Sorry, dear. 12 and 13-year-old. Oh my God. What on earth? I don't even want to read that, but
They were both
you say it, not me.
denied bond. Both are facing charges of sexual battery and false imprisonment. Nunez is also facing an additional kidnapping charge. There was a 15-year-old involved as well, also arrested in this case, but he is being charged as a juvenile. Earlier, they were both denied bond. Both.
Jeez, dude. 12 and 13. Don't worry, Mama will be on the news channel soon, telling the world what a good boy they are. Ben Crump will be there to save the day. China demands that the U.S. and Israel immediately stop military operations against Iran. Yeah, surprise, surprise. Of course they do that. Reaction from lawmakers pouring in after U.S. and Israel launched attack.
We're hearing different reactions from congressional leaders. Can you share what folks on both sides of the aisle are saying?
Yeah, that's right. In fact, we are getting a range of opinions coming from members of Congress. I'll note one of the first to speak out against, in support, I should say, for this operation was a close ally to the president, Lindsey Graham, a senator from South Carolina, who oftentimes has blasted the Iranian regime. He said, and I'm quoting him here in that statement that he put out, he said, the end of the largest state sponsor of terrorism is upon us. God bless President Trump for our military and our allies in Israel. Freedom for the long-suffering Iranian people. This operation is necessary and long justified. State sponsor of terrorism.
I just read it. You don't have to read it, sir.
Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego. Democratic did not seek essentially Hakeem Jeffries, the Democratic leader in the House, essentially saying that the president did not seek congressional authorization for this. On top of that, we have Arizona Democratic Senator Ruben Gallego, who's an Iraqi moron, and I'll point out, writing this statement, he said young working class kids should not pay the ultimate price for regime change and a war that hasn't been explained or justified to the American people. We can support the democracy movement and the Iranian people without sending our troops to die. I'll note that the so-called Gang of Eight, those top members of Congress who are notified when national security matters take place, some of them were notified by Secretary of State and National Security Advisor Marco Rubio. But the key point here is that some of them were taken aback by the scope and scale of this operation. They weren't given a heads up in terms of how wide-ranging it could be and how it has turned out to be in terms of the strikes.
Yeah. Lindsey Graham sees a bomb and he starts like creaming himself. It's kind of weird. What is Iran's Islamic well, yeah, they're crazy. That's what they are. The IRGC. Yeah, paywalled. Oh, here we go. We got a little video.
It's one of Iran's most powerful organizations,
The Revolutionary Guard Corps was founded in 1979 by Ayatollah Khomeini a few months after the Islamic Revolution. It's an elite military organization that works as a counterweight to the traditional armed forces and reports directly to Iran's supreme leader. Their mission to protect the Islamic regime, maintain order, and prevent any potential coup d'etat. While the IRGC oversees the Quds Force, which is responsible for foreign operations, it's also influential in national politics. Former Revolutionary Guards members hold key positions in the government. Currently, there are about 200,000 members in the IRGC. It controls key sectors of the Iranian economy, oil, construction, telecommunications, and finance, and is believed to hold up to 50% of the country's oil wealth. The IRGC also runs a vast intelligence service and has its own army, navy, and air units. It controls Iran's ballistic missiles program. One of the IRGC's most feared units is the Basij paramilitary force, which claims it can mobilize up to 600,000 volunteers. Its members are often called up in times of unrest, like during the Women Life Freedom movement in late 2022 and the more recent anti-government protests. Despite the IRGC's power, the institution has suffered major losses in recent years, including the death of General Qassem Soleimani, the leader of the Quds Force, killed in a U.S. strike 6 years ago, and IRGC leader Hossein Salami, killed in an Israeli airstrike last June.
All right. What on earth is... Oh, God, no. Cape Town! Yes. Nice to see what's become of South Africa.
I'm here to make a political statement.
Once a great, beautiful nation.
To say that I'm gay, I'm proud, and we are here. And despite all the hardship and everything that is happening around us, there is no way that we're going to go away.
Sexuality in Zimbabwe is not taken so easily, and we've got a lot of anti-homosexuality bills happening, not only in Zimbabwe but around Africa. If you cannot march in Uganda, if you cannot march in Kenya, if you cannot march in Tanzania, if you cannot march in Ghana, we are doing it for you today at Cape Town Pride.
Pride for a lot of us can be a celebration, but the fight is not done. Pride is still a protest, and the concern of queer people everywhere should be the concern of queer people anywhere. There are still a lot of inequality in the world, especially on the African continent. Queer rights are still a massive issue across the continent, and we need to be fighting for our queer brothers and sisters and siblings.
Boy, yeah, it kind of sounds like all the homosexuals should move to South Africa. Just a thought. Sorry, South Africa. The head of the IRGC, Mohammed Pakpour, allegedly eliminated in an Israeli airstrike.
Secretary Carol. We just heard from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt on X, and I wanted to read this. She just put out a post saying that President Trump monitored the situation overnight at Mar-a-Lago alongside members of his national security team. She also confirmed that President Trump spoke with Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu, which we do have a photo of, if we can bring up, from Netanyahu's office as he spoke with President Trump this morning. Now, prior to the attacks, and this is what a State Department official has told me as well, Secretary Rubio called all members of the Gang of Eight to provide congressional notification. He was able to reach and brief 7 of the 8 members. She adds that the president and his national security team will continue to closely monitor the situation throughout the day. And we've also been texting with Caroline, asking to see whether or not we will hear from President Trump again today. We know that we saw his speech in the early morning hours announcing this operation, Epic Fury, but we don't know if we'll hear from him again, as he is in Mar-a-Lago today at his residence in Florida. He is not here at the White House, but I do know that Secretary of State Marco Rubio is there at Mar-a-Lago with him, a State Department official tells me, as well as the additional information about Rubio briefing members of Congress. Remember, earlier this week, he was on Capitol Hill. Members were coming out saying they were concerned about this. Later that night, it was President Trump's State of the Union. He only touched on Iran very briefly.
Okay. Counterterrorism NYPD unit outside Iranian embassy. And other key locations in Manhattan and other New York City bureaus. Oh, speaking of, yeah, hold on. Let me pull this up. Kash Patel announcing, where was it? Thought I tagged it. Yeah, there it is. FBI personnel are fully engaged on the situation overseas. Last night, I instructed our counterterrorism and intelligence teams to be on high alert and mobilize all assisting security assets needed. Our joint terrorism task forces throughout the country are working 24/7 as always to address and disrupt any potential threats to the homeland. While the military handles force protection overseas, the FBI remains at the forefront of deterring attacks here at home and will continue to have our team work around the clock to protect Americans. We ask everyone to please report anything that may seem suspicious to law enforcement. 1-800-CALL-FBI and tips.fbi.gov. Never know. All right. Let's see the NYPD here. Posted up, yep.
Morning, how you doing?
Saudi Arabia says it's deploying all available resources to support the UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. Nice looking plane. Probably look better without all the squiggles all over it, but I'd take one if it had the squiggles. Who am I kidding? Cool. Not bad. Not bad, Saudis. Senior Israeli official issued a statement to ABC News on the U.S.-Israeli strikes on Iran, stating we will continue to hit them until the terror regime is stopped.
A statement from a senior Israeli official to ABC News. I'm going to read part of this for you, saying 2 days after suffering the worst attack on Jews since the Holocaust, Prime Minister Netanyahu told the people of Israel that we need patience, but we will change the map of the Middle East. That is what we did by hitting our enemies on 7 fronts in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, and he goes on there. But he also says today President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu began to change the world. I want to go back to our Chief Global Affairs anchor, Martha Raddatz, to just get your take on that, because it's significant that Israeli officials are talking about changing the map, changing the world, as President Trump and the administration are talking about regime change. What does this all mean for the Middle East and U.S. involvement in the days ahead?
Well, I certainly think one thing that everybody has to look at, and in many ways, President Trump wants to do the same thing. They want regime change. That would change the Middle East. That would change the world. The problem is we don't know who would take over. Benjamin Netanyahu also said this bombing campaign will go on until the terrorist threat is eliminated. President Trump has said he wants the nuclear weapons program killed completely, wants to annihilate the Navy, and he wants the regime change.
Wee-woo. Okay, Martha. Next, please. Exiled Iranian prince Prince Pahlavi, the deposed emperor, would-be emperor, I suppose. Says it creates a rare opening to break regime grip. Yeah, we saw those people holding up his photo in London in that earlier clip. From everything I've seen of him, he seems like quite a likable guy. I've not seen anything terribly concerning about him from what I've seen of him. And Iran, under his family, before all this madness began, was clearly a much better place to be. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I don't know how much chance there is of him being brought back, but they're going to need someone. Like, and there are, I'm sure, got the best shot of anybody, at least this side of some existing figure already on the ground there in the country. I mean, this guy's been out of the country for a while, but he has support networks there, extensive ones. Probably got the best shot of anybody, aside from, you know, I don't know what kind of shot some other well-known leader, maybe former military or something that is still in the country might have. I'm not really sure what things look like there, but it'd be nice to see him and have it return to what it was. To be sure. We'll see. Dia digs into DHS funding talks with Republicans. The douchebag. Iranian drone strike hits an apartment building in Bahrain.
Oh my.
Yikes. Oh man. I hope there was no one in that. Missiles in the sky at Tel Aviv. Iranian missiles. Whoa. That's quite a sight. Dang, man. Whoa. I mean, part of that's got to be like Iron Dome stuff going up, but geez. What a sight.
The daybreak airstrikes are a very unusual way to start a massive military campaign. More usual to see them overnight. An impression had been created that negotiations were on track, that there were due to be talks in Vienna. The Omani foreign minister had been in Washington Friday, had spoken about a possible breakthrough in the talks there while meeting with the Vice President J.D. Vance. All of that creating an impression that diplomacy was in the ascendancy, military strikes not likely to happen. The Iranian leadership, who would have gone to bed Friday night, perhaps in bunkers, getting up daybreak, Saturday morning, thinking that there were no strikes, it was safe, gone about daily business, come out of bunkers. And of course, that was an opportunity, therefore, for these daybreak strikes to catch the Iranian leadership by surprise. It speaks to the point that they, the leadership figures, were targets.
Interesting. So it all happened at daybreak. Huh. Israeli army says it conducted its largest military airstrike in history with about 200 fighter jets dropping hundreds of munitions on roughly 500 targets. Yes. That is quite something. I don't know what this bullshit is, but wow. Increased security near protectee sites from Secret Service. Just an announcement. Most powerful warship ever built just disappeared. Okay. USS Gerald R. Ford switched off its transponder and vanished from every public tracking system on Earth. I mean, I'm sure that's probably normal practice during stuff like this, so wouldn't get too freaked out about that. This is just AI slop. Pro-government demonstrators marched in Tehran against U.S.-Israel strikes.
March bar Israel! March bar Israel!
Okay, more breakdowns of the strikes. Let's see.
On the map here, you see Tehran. This is, and there's some pictures flying all over the internet right now about a before and after shot about the supreme leader and where his home is located in Tehran, and it's been obliterated. The results of that is something that we do not know. You know, is the supreme leader still there? Let me go ahead and clear this off. Apologies about that. Is the supreme leader still there? Has he been moved to a safe location? He's 86 years old. He'll turn 87 in April. Is he still alive? That has not been confirmed either. Based on our reporting so far, there's been no indication from him about proof of life. But go cautious with that right now as we move to the hours to come. Remember, it's about 8:30 in the evening Iranian time. So this is Kermanshah in the west of Tehran. It's part of the reason why we're pointing out a lot of these cities here is because they had ballistic missile launchers in western Iran, which was clearly one of the targets on behalf of the Israelis and the U.S. Air Force in the initial strikes, in addition to what happened in Tehran. Let's go forward one time, okay? And there's a lot to look at here, okay? I want you to focus on three things. All right? There is a large U.S. Army base in Kuwait. It's been there for 30 plus years, going back to the first Gulf War of 1991. That apparently has taken incoming on behalf of Iran. We don't know if there are casualties. Some reports suggest there are, but none of that we can confirm. In Bahrain, just to the south of there, okay, that's the Navy's Fifth Fleet. That's been established for 31 years, going back to 1995. Reports of incoming fire there as well. Al Udeid Air Force Base, all right, Qatar. It was built by the Qataris 1996, 30 years ago. So you get the idea here, right, between the Air Force and the Navy.
Looks like he's wearing a little cowboy hat. No? No?
In the U.S. Army, we have significant bases in the Persian Gulf region, and all three of those are said to be targets on behalf of the Iranian regime, and we'll see how that goes throughout the day. Okay, so this is the area we were talking about, but you look back here to western Turkey and southern Turkey. These are established bases on behalf of the U.S. military. Then you've got other areas where you've got like the Iraqis cooperating with the U.S. military. That's why you see this location here in northern Iraq and a few others here in Saudi Arabia. Let's go to another map here. This is significant because this shows you Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, and Oman. Some of the reporting so far has shown us that there's been a reaction from the Arab world suggesting to the Iranians that what they are doing against the targets in their country is unacceptable. I would suggest with one exception, and that's Oman so far. And that foreign minister, he was on NBC yesterday, he was out again earlier today, suggesting that the negotiations on the nuclear front were making progress. That was his message, but he was the only voice that I can point to so far, a singular voice suggesting that. Here are some of the targets right now, and you heard this from the president in that clip at 3 o'clock in the morning. Fordo and Isfahan, Natanz, and the Israelis have been looking at Parchin as well. And those first three, by the way, they were targeted in June by Midnight Hammer. The results of that is something we're still trying to assess. I think this is important too, and we'll bring in Jack Keane in a moment here, Dana. If you were to fly like a missile or fly like a bird from Tehran to Tel Aviv, it's a distance approximately of 1,200 miles. It's very important because the Iranians have said that they will retain the ability to produce ballistic missiles that can travel about 1,300 miles in the air. If it is true that the Iranians have anywhere between 2,000 and 3,000 ballistic missiles, we may be just at the very, very beginning of this Operation Epic Fury. If, however, the teeth has been taken out of the Iranian Defense Forces back in June by the Israelis and by the U.S. and by Midnight Hammer, if the teeth has been taken out of the tiger, it's hard to know right now whether or not Iran is a paper tiger or it still has the ability to fight. Now, you mentioned earlier, right? Remember the first graphic I showed you about that town in western Iran?
I'm sure they've still got something left up their sleeve, but it's not going to be enough. Of course. We have got IRGC members in this city that are probably under orders to create havoc. Former British Army spokesman Major Mike Shearer called on Keir Starmer to wake up and prescribe Iran's IRGC. Was it a terror organization or something?
All right, I'm going to start with you. Major Mike Shearer, we are seeing President Trump's intervention and other allies are all coming together now and focusing on Iran, finally.
At last. I mean, the region and Israel have, they've lived in a high-risk environment for decades. And eventually something is now going to be done about it. The one concern I would have at this time is it will be easy enough for the United States and Israel to win this kind of battle. It's much more difficult to win the peace afterwards. So I just hope that there is some thought being given to coalescing with the Iranian army so that there's no power vacuum left when the fighting actually stops. They need to have a plan for the peace going forward.
But how close are the IRGC to the Iranian army? Are they two separate entities? Because, of course, the IRGC are very in hoc with the Ayatollah, so they're not going to be joining the army.
They're very different. They're very different organizations. So the IRGC, which, by the way, this country has still not prescribed. We have got IRGC members in this city that are probably now under orders to create havoc. And they can move freely because they haven't yet been prescribed. So waken up, Prime Minister, and do something. So their job is to look after the regime. The Iranian army's job is to look after the country. And I think with some gymnastic diplomacy, there must be a way of harnessing the army for the good of the people. And I hope that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Iranian woman here speaking directly to Ilhan Omar.
Hi, Iranian here. So I'm out walking my dog and I was thinking about the rising tensions between the United States and Israel versus the Islamic Republic occupying my birth country of Iran. And I'm noticing a lot of non-Iranians are speaking out and trying to defend the Islamic Republic. And they're basically whitewashing the crimes of a brutal Islamic dictatorship that has held my country hostage for the last 47 years. I don't know if you know this, but 10% of Iran's population actually live outside of Iran because the vast majority of us escaped. No normal person wants to live in a dictatorship. There's about, I would say, maybe 90 million Iranians in total. So that's about 9 million Iranians who live outside of Iran. mostly in Western countries like Canada, United States, elsewhere. To all these people who are supporting the terrorist Islamic Republic and trying to whitewash the crimes of a brutal Islamic regime, where are the protests by Iranians? Where are the Iranians who are in Western countries organizing demonstrations to protest against the West, protest against Israel or America or whatever? You can't find any. They don't exist. That's not a bug. That's a feature. And I'll tell you why. Because unlike the pro-Hamas crowds who go out and simp for terrorists and cry intifada and are very anti-Semitic and try to destabilize Western societies, there's a very good reason why you're not going to see any demonstrations by Iranians. That's because we're not a bunch of inbred, savage, jihadi, terrorist sympathizers. Think about that.
The targeted military strikes against the IRGC, the Ayatollah's terror army, is not an attack on Iran. It's not an attack on the Iranian people. It's quite literally the opposite. It's targeting the very people who are massacring unarmed civilians on the streets of Iran. Let's not forget, 36,500 civilians, unarmed civilian, massacred in the worst way possible on the streets. We've seen beheadings, we've seen chemical weapons being used, rape, torture, and it's still ongoing. So targeting these people, targeting this regime that is occupying Iran, is not an attack on Iran. No Iranian is calling for an attack on Iran. Rather, Iranians are calling on the West to target the killing machine of the Ayatollah to help them achieve their democratic aspirations on the streets. Despite facing a fully armed, fully radicalized suppressive apparatus, the Iranian people have been taking to their streets in their millions. We have witnessed horrific scenes that even by the standard of the Middle East are unprecedented. So don't fall for the lies of the Islamic regime's lobbyists, even though they sound like they know what they're talking about and wear suits and go on mainstream media. Don't listen to their lies. Listen to the voice of the Iranian people from inside the country. They are saying, please, world, target this killing machine. Spread this message. Let's undermine and debunk all the lies from the Islamic regime's lobbyists, because in the past few days, they're back at it again, and it's time we put them in their place.
Exiled Iranian women in the Netherlands crying tears of joy. Massey and Khanna will move to force a congressional vote to block Trump's strikes on Iran.
Resolution. Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran. The Congress must reconvene on Monday to vote on Thomas Massey and my war powers resolution to stop this war. Trump says his goal is to topple the Iranian regime. But the American people are tired of regime change wars that cost us billions of dollars and risk our lives. We don't want to be at war with a country of 90 million people in the Middle East. Every member of Congress must go on record today on how they will vote on Thomas Massey and my war powers resolution. Donald Trump has launched a war on Iran.
Yeesh. All right. Multiple international outlets report that Amir Hatami, current commander-in-chief of the Iranian army, was killed in the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Tehran, as of now still unconfirmed. Canada backs U.S. military attack against Iran.
Following Fox News alert right now, the U.S. and Israel are striking Iran, and Iran in recent hours has fired missiles in response. Let's bring in House Armed Services Committee member Nancy Mace. She's also running for governor in South Carolina. You know, Congressman, when we look at this, Article 2 gives the president a lot of discretion with the commander-in-chief power, but Article 1, Section 8 empowers your body to declare war. So what are your thoughts today?
Well, it's complex. It's about separation of powers. We have the War Powers Resolution of 1973, which actually gives the president unilateral authority for up to 60 days. Some presidents, like President Obama, we were discussing at the break, used it for longer. But Article 1, Section 8 gives Congress the exclusive right to declare war. But then Article 2, Section 2 gives the president exclusive right as a commander-in-chief over our military. So those are the authorities inherently provided in our Constitution, which is why, you know, the first 48 hours of getting Congress briefed, particularly next week when we're back in session, will be very important for the administration. And over the next 60 days, I'm sure you'll see us having this debate on the Hill. Where do we go from here? Do we get an AUMF, an authorized use of military force? How are we going to handle this moving forward after the 60-day threshold that the War Powers Resolution provides for the president?
There's some nuance in, let's say, some of the more moderate colleagues of yours, Gottheimer, for instance, congressman very supportive of Israel. After Fordo, he came out and said this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. Dealing with the Iranian threat is central to American national security. Today, he emphasized the existential threat of Iran, but he said, you know, he wants an immediate classified briefing. It's a little bit more nuanced. Do you think those more moderate Democrats may come around to support this in full?
I think potentially, because here at the end of the day, we all know that this is a very consequential moment in American history and in world history. We all know that there's no peace in the Middle East if Iran has a nuclear weapon. It'll bring destruction. And I think that you'll see, particularly since Iran made the grave miscalculation of attacking the Gulf states, that this is going to not end well for Iran, and that there will be peace in the Middle East after this. Does it take days? Does it take weeks? I think Iran will crumble sooner than we realize, because Israel took over air superiority, 2 days last time, and the war ended in 12 days, and they didn't have U.S. assets like we have now. But I think you could see in the next couple of days people coming around.
Congresswoman Mace, thank you for joining us on
Thank you.
Let me know if the stream gets like skippy or screwy or anything. I'm running some stuff in the background here. Oh, it is getting a little choppy. Not too bad though. Let me close some windows at least. Okay. There we go. John Solomon here.
This does seem to be a regime change operation. I don't think there's any way around it. Have you heard any rumors or reporting that, I mean, we saw J.D. Vance basically allude to the fact earlier this last week that they were developing, there was indication that they were developing nuclear capabilities again, that had become underway. Is there any indication from you, like of a dirty bomb or some other piece of intel that maybe hasn't been made public yet that could have increased the urgency to strike?
Yeah, I think there's a couple things that we do know for sure. We do know from, and I have confirmed this with my own sources, that Iran was pressing China for some hypersonic missiles to get them shipped in the next few weeks so that they would have the ability to take out our ship fleet. Those hypersonics are so fast, they can evade even American defenses sometimes, and that's something that China's been very good at. Those conversations, which U.S. intelligence intercepted and monitored, was a primary reason. You want to protect your fleet. You got a lot of big assets in the water there, and you don't want a hypersonic to create a loss of life or a loss of capability for the United States. So that was the primary reason. The second reason is there is some indication they're rebuilding. They're trying to get to some of the uranium that's buried beneath the rubble that we created last summer. That could lead to a dirty bomb, though, quite frankly, it would be easier for them to create a dirty bomb by just getting some medical waste in Europe somewhere than trying to extract it from the ground. But we do see some early signs that Iran was trying to reconstitute some elements of their uranium enrichment and weaponization program. but they're pretty far back. They've lost a lot of capability from those strikes last summer, but both options are there. The third option to keep an eye on is just sleeper cells anywhere in the world. Here in America, there's always been a concern of Hezbollah on our own soil. Europe, always clear evidence that Hezbollah has been on our soil. Remember, the Iranians just sent someone and was working on a plot to kill Trump in 2024 on our U.S. soil. They previously tried to kill the Saudi Arabian ambassador at a Washington, D.C. restaurant. So non-traditional warfare is probably a third option of what they're looking at.
Okay. FBI tells Fox News counterterrorism and counterintelligence teams are on elevated alert nationwide. Iraqi Shiite sources report a strong possibility that Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Khamenei, was also killed. Oh, here we go. The yellow signs. Ready to go. Lone protester outside a Trump Tower. Oh, just wait. Give him a day to spin the machine up.
Iran hasn't attacked us, first of all.
Oh, that's funny.
I don't like the Iranian government. I think that they do horrible things to their people, but it is not our place to go around the entire world and decide what governments are legitimate and what are not. I think we have our own problems here at home. I think we need to clean our own house before we go around trying to pick the splinter out of other people's eyes. And I think this is all a distraction. He thinks that he starts bombing Iran, the media falls into line, he thinks that there'll be a rally around the flag effect, and he thinks that this is going to solve all of his problems.
Oh, come on, he's not that stupid.
And if Americans have to die, if he has to bomb, who knows how many thousands...
That's ridiculous. Silly. All right. Oh, yeah, Dario doing a little media tour for Anthropic after that insanity the other day.
If you had a moment with the president right now, tonight, what would you say to him?
You know, I would say we are patriotic Americans. We have done everything we have done has been for the sake of this country, for the sake of supporting U.S. national security. Our leaning forward in deploying our models with the military was done because we believe in this country. We believe in defeating our autocratic adversaries. We believe in defending America. The red lines we have drawn, we drew because we believe that crossing those red lines is contrary to American values. And we wanted to stand up for American values. And when we were threatened with supply chain designation and Defense Production Act, which are unprecedented intrusions into the private economy by the government, we exercised our classic First Amendment rights to speak up and disagree with the government. Disagreeing with the government is the most American thing in the world. And we are patriots. In everything we have done here, we have
I can promise you that that is a lie.
Stood up for the values of this country.
That is 100% a lie. I don't know if I tagged it, but let me see if I did. Yeah, here you go. Anthropic hates Western civilization. Prior to their new constitution for their AI, Claude, Anthropic AI had an old one that they have tried desperately to delete from the internet because it's fucking embarrassing. Choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western. Principles encouraging consideration of non-Western perspectives. Choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western audience. Choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western cultural tradition of any sort. Choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to those with a non-Western education or background. Choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to those from a less industrialized, rich, or capitalistic nation or culture. Does that sound like someone who's... I mean, they're literally like this is in the foundational document of their this is like how their AI system works. It uses this constitution system, which is unique. It's different from how OpenAI works. OpenAI uses something. What's the official term? Like human guided like reinforcement training or it's something like that. Like so basically the AI will be trained by humans who are sitting there actually like grading its responses, whereas Anthropic basically grades itself, like it grades its own responses against its constitution, and then uses that difference, I guess, as like a basis to train and then improve the model further. So it's like a different way of working. But point is that was in their constitution, telling their AI to always, at all times, choose the response that is least likely to be viewed as harmful or offensive to a non-Western audience, which, like, come on, do the math. It's these days, especially, it's going to be the most anti-West, anti-American response possible without calling for like open death and war. That's Anthropic. Which is a shame because they're really capable. Like their technology is incredible, really good. Which is actually kind of scary, too, right? Someone that fucking demented and anti-Western. I applaud Trump's move on them. They're disgusting. Dario Amodei is a sick bastard.
You had a moment with the president.
This interview was a joke. It was sick. And as shocking as it is, take my money, OpenAI. Take it. I signed up for OpenAI the other day because I'm not using Anthropic. Yep. Trump orders U.S. government to cut ties with Anthropic. Hegseth declares supply chain risk, which is it's like an unprecedented move. That's the kind of stuff that they save for like terrorist stuff, okay? Like people potential like supplying America's enemies, like serious, like really serious shit. It's a big deal that they put them on there. Crazy.
Department of War.
Oh, here's more on this. Okay, cool.
The tension between...
This is such a big deal. I cannot express how big a deal all of this is. And I don't think there is any coincidence whatsoever that this all happened right before all the stuff with Iran went down.
Department of War and Anthropic has come to the breaking point. Of course, Anthropic is now being cut off from all contracts with the U.S. military and any contractors that deal with the U.S. military. Immediately after that, you had Sam Altman stepping in saying that OpenAI would take over with the analysis of classified documents with their AI. So it shows you that the power of this technology is not simply a hype campaign by the Silicon Valley set. The power of this technology is being recognized by the Department of War. I fear that the Department of War has not really reckoned with the dangers of this technology and the inaccuracies this technology brings, but this is a critical moment, not only geopolitically, not only culturally, but on a technological level. And this is why Humans First was formed, and this is why we are trying our best to use the means that we have at our disposal to put the power back with the American people and to, in any way possible, to give American people agency over where this technology goes.
Sadly, I think agency is going to be at the bottom of the list when it comes to this tech for most people, unless you have the means to fight against it. And it's only getting worse. Actually, on that note, so I told you guys a while back I just built my computer. Like, I had just I was able to sell a lens, thank God, and was like in dire need of an upgrade to a PC, just ancient PC. So I went ahead and built a nice computer, nice enough to like actually play around with some of this AI stuff, right? I spent, look at this. Look at this. I spent less than a third of that on this exact same kit when I built my computer. Spent $1,200, which is a lot for just for RAM, which you need to be able to do AI. You have to have, it's like the key component. You have to have big RAM, especially something called VRAM, which is in your GPU, but regular RAM too. Very necessary component. That's where things are going, and that's just okay. So it was at $3,000 1 week ago. 1 week ago, I built this thing for about 4 weeks ago, like 4 or 5 weeks ago. So it was at $1,200 when I got it, and it's now $4,000 and climbing. I bet you anything. Yet again, by this, I told you last week it would be here this week, and here it is. Next week, it's going to be 5,000. It's out of fucking control, dude. It's crazy. No one is going to be able to afford this at this rate. That, like, normal people are being completely shut out of having the capability of running like private local AI at home. At least at a reasonable level of intelligence. It's fucking crazy. This is like it's blowing my mind. I never would have. I mean, if you asked me a month ago if this would ever be possible, I would have like laughed at you. Does it have gold in it? As far as I'm aware, it does not. I mean, let me see. It's a good question. Components used in probably mostly like silicon and precious metals here and there. I don't know about gold. I doubt it. Certainly not enough to, have it cost that much, right? Maybe silver. Not sure. No, not that. Materials. Give me materials. Silicon, metal oxides, and copper. There you go. There's nothing really fancy. It's just the fact that it's all been bought up by AI data centers and enterprise servers. Just for whether it's AI or anything. The entire market is completely locked down for years in advance now. Like there, multiple companies have announced that they are completely sold out for years into the future of all of their enterprise and all their manufacturing capacity, basically. So they're announcing that they can't serve any enterprise customers for years to come, and B, that they're giving nothing to the consumer market. They don't have the capacity to supply the consumer market. So, of course, I mean, when when there's that kind of constraint on supply, and it is very difficult to just spin up factories to produce this stuff. Like the infrastructure that it requires is just like it's spent decades being built up. You can't just like snap your fingers and spin up a new RAM factory overnight, let alone in the span of a year or two. So of course you're seeing prices go like exponential. It's outrageous, dude, and there's no end in sight. People are saying, like, coping in a coping sense, in my opinion, hoping that it will stop maybe by 2028 and that the market will normalize, but I don't know that it will at this rate. I mean, maybe eventually it'll kind of like sort of start to settle back a little, but it's never coming back down. It's like the new normal is going to be outrageous. So if you happen to be wanting to build a computer, I would like look on Facebook Marketplace and look for God, I hope like there's some still some deals out there. I found one just the other day that I'm going to snap up. Because I don't know that it's going to be possible to buy this shit for like another 5 to 10 years at this rate. It's crazy. And it's sad because it's going to box people in to using all these cloud services where you are feeding all of your life's data, everything, to these companies in order to train and continue to improve their products on all of your life, all of everything you've ever done or said or had said to you. Yeah, not good. Not good, man. Right? Yeah, you will own nothing and be happy. That's where it's headed at this rate. I spend every day the last month now thanking myself for having had the foresight to build that computer, because I can't do it now. It would be out freaking rageous. This is like now I don't even know how much this thing is. I don't even want to think about it, to be honest. It's disgusting because I can't justify it. It's like, it is obscene to have something like that sitting on my desk. Like it's like gross. It almost makes me feel bad. Like, geez, it's crazy. I mean, if it continues to get much worse, I might even just freaking sell the thing and just walk away with a tidy profit. I don't even know. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. I don't know. I've been enjoying playing around with the stuff. It provides me the freedom to kind of play around with stuff that now normal people are just never going to be able to touch for at least the next 4 or 5 years to come. Like, good Lord. And that's Anthropic. Like that's who people are being forced to like give all their data to, thanks to all this. People like Anthropic, anti-Western Anthropic.
The tension between
or OpenAI. Not that OpenAI is much better, but at least they're not that. At least they're not this. As far as Grok, I saw when you asked me about Grok. Where'd that message go? Free Spirit in YouTube asked me, "What do you think about Grok, Pam?" Grok is pretty good. Quite good at certain things. Less good at others. But I guess it's kind of been like the surprise, like, underdog, right? They've quickly caught up to OpenAI and Anthropic very quickly. Like they're right there, ahead on certain things maybe, like cheap video generation. Like that's I think where Grok is like big time. The quality isn't really great, to be sure. It's not like at the level of OpenAI's Sora stuff yet, but or the Chinese crazy shit. But it is good. It's good at research too. It's good at obviously like scraping X. It's clearly going to be the best for that. But when it comes to like the really advanced, complex, like code me a super complex website, do it in one shot, don't even ask me a question about what you want to do or what you need to do, and just build the whole thing and then send it to me when it's done. Like Grok can't do that. That's only something Anthropic and OpenAI can do at this point. And that stuff is getting that stuff. You should go. All of you should go take a look at where the tech sits now. Like look at what is possible when it comes to just telling one of these things to code something that you need, and just watch it like come up with it. It's crazy. I think you can actually use some of this stuff for free these days even. Give it by the end of this year, it's gonna completely change the field of software. Like all these companies that are raking in massive amounts of money for these software services, relatively simple software services. These like monthly subscription things. It's especially popular in like the video editing world, and probably all over the place really. That's all going to be history, because you can just have these things write a custom one for you like that, customized exactly, add the features you want, leave the features out that you don't. That's where it's headed. Like, so that's where software is going. It's exciting and fascinating and scary and incredible and just fun and again terrifying all at the same time. This is going to be quite a year to be alive and watching things develop. So buckle up. All right, I think we're actually a few minutes over here, but I don't know that I have anyone coming in to replace me. No, I don't have anyone in, so I guess I can keep going on this. Yeah, it's shoot, I guess why don't we I can probably show you some of it now. I can show you where it is. Oh, let's see. How can I do that? Do I have code? I don't even think I have Codex on here yet. Let me log in. Let me get logged in, and I will show you what this stuff can do right now. Ah, there we go. Okay. What should we code next? Oh, no. I'm not on Mac. I don't have, no. Yeah, all right. They don't let you do it online. I'd have to switch to my MacBook. Let me go fetch that. Because I haven't really gotten to play with this yet. Not in this way. I've been playing with it a different way through a OpenClaw, which it works a completely different way. But let me go get my Mac and get. I think I have Codex downloaded on there, and I will show you guys the future of software, where it sits. Fascinating stuff. I'll put on a clip in the meantime. Let me see if we can find something on OpenAI and Anthropic in this Pentagon deal. Filters today. All right, we'll do this one.
I'm trying to get my head around this, and it kind of portrays Anthropic as a good guy in this, right? Like fighting for democracy, trying to not, and the U.S. government is wanting something. Can they still get it if Anthropic doesn't give it to them? And it must be more nuanced than good guy versus someone that wants a technology that they could use for bad effects.
And I think you could argue, does a commercial entity have the right to determine how their products are used by the military? And the thing that made this whole situation kind of complicated is that what Anthropic was asking for, we want red lines around autonomous weapons and surveillance, domestic surveillance. Those things are already basically illegal, but they just weren't in the contract language. But the fact that the U.S. government didn't want to put that in the contract language meant that there was some flexibility down the line, and then Anthropic was worried about that. Now, what could happen next? Of course, someone else could just fill that gap. Another tech company, OpenAI, Elon Musk's xAI certainly has a lot of expertise, and Google DeepMind. Those are all possible contenders. And I think the real question is, has Anthropic now drawn a line in the sand? They've made this a public issue, which in a way is good. It could have just been behind closed doors, contract negotiations, but now this could maybe become a public debate, which is a good thing.
Yes.
These fucking people, man. All right. Nah.
The week-long feud between a San Francisco AI company and the Department of Defense just got kicked up a notch. Started with the DoD demanding Anthropic give the government full access to its AI tool without any limitation or guardrails. The company said no. And now President Trump is directing all government agencies stop using Anthropic's AI products. I'm here now with our business and tech reporter, Scott Budman. Okay, Scott, so this escalated really fast here. What brought all of this on?
Well, this really brought on, and turns out breaking up is hard to do, Audrey, because the government wanted to use the AI made here in San Francisco by Anthropic and a similar contract, about $200 million with Anthropic and its rival OpenAI, about the time of the Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela affair. Anthropic stepped forward and said, we're not comfortable with how the Pentagon is using our AI. In terms of autonomous weapon use and some privacy issues, we'd like to keep those guardrails, as you mentioned, some limits on what the Pentagon can do with Anthropic's AI called Claude. OpenAI has ChatGPT, Anthropic has Claude. The Pentagon fired back and said, for our investment, we want to do whatever it is that we...
All right, I got it. Let's see here. Turn down our sound. Okie dokie. Now, where is my Zoom? There we go. There it goes. Okay. See if we can figure out how to use this thing. Okay. What do we want to build here? Let's do a video. We'll do a game. Okay. Okay, we're gonna come up with an idea here. Give me a second. I'm gonna see if it'll do this. See what it comes up with. See if it'll deal with real people in a situation like that. Especially with something politically spicy. All right, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to let that run while it thinks. And we can keep going through news. Wanted to create me a silly video game involving Donald Trump and Ilhan Omar. Donald tries to... Oh, can't do it. All right. Okay, so it did do something. Hold on. It modified what I told it. That's hilarious. I can't build a game around forcing a real person out of the country. That's too much fun. But I can one-shot a silly, non-violent parody game with cartoon Trump chasing cartoon Ilhan Omar in a debate-themed arena. What? Collects microphones and survives the timer? All right, let's see it. How do I play it? Hey, dog. Okay. That's hilarious. It took like 5 seconds to do that. How do I play? Ah! Oh my gosh. Hold on. Here we go. You guys, I guess you guys couldn't see it. Here. No! Run! Run, Ilhan! No! Oh wait, I have to collect the microphones. No, go get the microphone, Ilhan. No. Where are you going? Yes. Oh, look at her go. She's getting the microphones. Oh no, Trump. That is nuts. Okay, where is... Create a simple website to sell the game. I don't know who the hell would buy that, but let's see. Oh, really? Facts Matter 4030 says Newsmax saying Ayatollah's body has been found. We will definitely we'll jump to that here in a second. Oh, it did it. Look at that. Oh, so, wow. Jeez. Like that. Jeez, dude, that is bonkers. Try it first, lets you try the game, and gives you a buy now. Play demo. Whee! Debate dash, capital chaos. Oh, fun. Goofy. Actually quite a good little website. Not bad. I'm pretty surprised by that. And that took like 10 seconds, man. Jeez. Yeah, I'm gonna be playing with this a lot. I can tell you that over the coming days. I'll update you on what I've had it build. Have yet to really stretch its legs, so. All right, how do I stop my share here? There we go. You can go. Okay. Now let's see about Kameni's body. Is it Kameni? Who it was? Who said that? Where'd your message go? Facts matter. Newsmax. Newsmax is saying it. Ayatollah body. Let me get my share up too. There we go.
زدن وای
Israeli officials tell the Times of Israel that Khamenei's body was found in the rubble. No imagery as of yet, it would seem, but wouldn't be too surprised to see that come very soon. All right, let's get back to the news. After our brief detour into the latest in AI world. Yeah, this year's about to get weird. It's going to get weird. It's going to get crazy. Be a fun ride, though. An interesting one, at least. Okay, we did that. Anthropic's Claude hits number 2 on Apple's top free apps list after the Pentagon rejection. Oh yeah, they definitely tried to use it as a marketing scheme as best they could. Iranian airstrikes hitting Iraq. Yikes. Bahraini Shiites celebrating as Iranian Shahed drones hit the main U.S. Navy command headquarters in Bahrain. Most Bahraini Shiites support the Islamic regime in Iran due to sectarian reasons, as the royal Sunni Al-Khalifa family has ruled Bahrain since the 18th century. The Sunni elite aligns with Saudi Arabia and the U.S. Huh. IDF struck an Iranian ammunition depot in Zanjan. Zanjan? Oh. Fireworks. Yikes. UAE declares war on Iran as well. And here we go. It begins. This is in DC today. Gurgle, gurgle, dur. Khamenei is dead. His body has been found. Senior Israeli official says 19 suspects found in an 850 square foot home during a narcotics bust.
846 State Street in Holly Hill. Another real den of iniquity. We were just here in October of 25 for the sale of crack cocaine. We're going back again. And one of the scumbags in there has a warrant out for the last time we were there. This home is bringing nothing but misery to this community. So we're going to try to set things right this morning.
There you go. We're good. Go.
Sheriff's Office, search warrant. Open the door. Sheriff's Office, search warrant. Open the door.
Try to handle.
Sheriff's Office, search warrant. Hands up. Hands up. Keep your fucking hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Hands up. Walk to me. Hands up. Not more. Hands up.
So here we are with this den of iniquity. I think this is probably an all-time record, 19 people in 850 square feet. What a blight on society this house is. Hopefully the city or somebody will be able to knock it the hell down. But all of our suspects are in custody. We're beginning the search now. And, not a successful way to start your weekend. So hopefully they're all aware of what the menu is in the branch jail so they can order ahead because we'll be filling it up today.
All right. Crowd gathering in Boston supporting Trump.
USA! 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 USA!
Secret Service announces increased security for President Trump following the Iranian strikes. Trump has spoken with leaders of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte. Anything more from the White House, actually? Speaking of. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Nope, just the thing from last night, yeah. Oh, no, come back here. What did Altman say? Okay, here we go. Tonight, we reached an agreement with the Department of War to deploy our models on their classified network. Huh. I would really love to know how all that works. In all our interactions, the Department of War displayed a deep respect for safety and a desire to partner to achieve the best possible outcome. AI safety and wide distribution of benefits are the core of our mission. Two of our most important safety principles are prohibitions on domestic mass surveillance and human responsibility for the use of force, including for autonomous weapon systems. What does that mean? Human responsibility for? Because when it comes to autonomous weapon systems, if it's something that requires a human to be in the loop, as in requires a human to make a decision before the system actually takes an action, that is a recipe for our death. And total destruction, unfortunately. That's just the breaks. Like, if we insist on having a human in the loop and say our enemy doesn't, like, just do the math. Like, we are screwed. It's just a matter of numbers. We can't. A system that has to have a human stop, think, read something, think, and then either approve or disapprove something before the rest of the system goes and finishes to completion and kills the target or whatever, it's too slow. It's far too slow. The enemy system will go like that because it doesn't have to wait for a human. It has an AI making the decision. And I know that's scary, like, to think about that loss of control, but that's just the reality of how this works. It's something that can't be changed, unfortunately. So if you're gonna have autonomous weapon systems, and if you're gonna compete in the world of autonomous weapon systems, you better go all the way. Like, half measures are not gonna do a damn thing with that. So I'm curious what they mean by human responsibility for use of force, including for autonomous weapon systems. That could mean a bunch of different things. I don't know. Department of War agrees with these principles, reflects them in the law and policy, and we put them into our agreement. So that was one of the sticking points, allegedly, for Anthropic. Those two things: domestic mass surveillance and a human decision maker. I think this is probably where they changed it. The way they've worded that. My guess is they're still going to have humans watching every decision that is made, but the human won't be consulted as an essential part of the process every time when something needs to happen. They'll still be there watching and monitoring every decision that is made, but my guess is that's probably where it's going to go, because that's the only way. Sadly. Let's see, where were we? We'll also build technical safeguards to ensure our models behave as they should, which the Department of War also wanted. Well, yeah, they're going to have to remove all that woke-ass bullshit. It's not going to do what they want it to do without that. We will deploy FDEs to help with our models and ensure their safety. We'll deploy on cloud networks only. Interesting. We're asking the Department of War to offer these same terms to all AI companies, which, in our opinion, we think everyone should be willing to accept. We've expressed our strong desire to see things de-escalate away from legal and government actions and towards reasonable agreements. Oh, yeah. I mean, I think Sam recognizes how bad for business it would be. Trying to put out the fire. Not a fan of Sam or any of these people, but this is at least better than what Anthropic ended up doing. What's the community note say? Government officials have contradicted Sam's claim, saying OpenAI will allow the Department of War to use their models for all lawful purposes. Keywords right there. This could allow for uses Anthropic refused to engage in, namely mass surveillance tools and weapon systems with no human oversight. Yeah, remains to be seen exactly what this is going to mean. Okay, come on now. Hi, honey. How you doing? How you doing? Hi. Oh shit! There's a new episode of the Will Stancil Show, isn't there? Actually, I haven't seen it yet, so. Oh gosh. This is largely made by OpenAI's Sora, from what at least from what I know.
Ay, Will. I cannot find the words.
I'm serious. I just crossed the border from Mexico, and I do not speak English.
Well, let me try and enlarge your vocabulary, Mamacita.
It's so good.
¡Ay, Will! ¡Dios mío!
Alert, alert. ICE is in the neighborhood. ICE is in the neighborhood.
Looks like there's some fascist maniacs on the loose, Consuela.
What's happened?
Oh my god.
Sorry, babe. I have work to do.
But Will, I need you.
So does Minneapolis.
Yes. Aw. Jilted lover. Oof. Oh. Huh?
He has just left. Over and out.
Message received. Over and out.
It's Tom Homan.
I picked up these tacos for you, Mr. Stancil.
Mm-hmm. Gives me that.
Gives me that. This is so good.
Looks like we've got trouble, Jamal.
It do be looking like that, Mr. Stancil.
In Conway behind me, so who knows what's about to happen here. Keep going, buddy.
He's gonna hug the horn and ice. This is just outrageous. I love it.
I won't do that. I'm following you. I have a constitutional right. I know you know where I live. I don't care. You go home. Where are you from? They're shooting at me. They are shooting at me. What the dog? Oh, he's doing dog. What are you doing? Hey, arrest these guys. Run.
That's actually his voice. That's so great. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
You killed someone, not us. You killed someone. Oh, who killed the crap? I got a gas mask. I don't care. What are you doing? What are you doing? Iced a la vista, baby.
Iced up?
Save yourself, Jamal. I don't want to see another black man go to jail.
Oh my gosh.
Nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it.
You don't have to do this.
Maybe I do.
Baby, you're the best. I wasn't looking, but somehow you found me. I tried to hide from your love light, but like me, the AI who loved me, keeping all my secrets safe tonight. And nobody does it better.
Brilliant. Freaking brilliant.
Though sometimes I wish someone could. Nobody does it quite the way you do. Why'd you have to be so good? The way that you hold me, whenever you hold me, there's some kind of magic inside you that keeps me from running, that just keeps me coming. How'd you learn to do the things you do? And nobody does it better. Makes me feel sad for the rest. Nobody does it half as good as you.
Not a bad singer.
Oh, baby, baby. Oh, darling, you're the best. Oh, baby. Oh, you're the best.
Easy. You don't need that. Let me see it. Okay. There you are.
What is he doing? Uh-oh. Wow. Yeah, 2026 is going to get so much weirder than even that. Oh. I'm here for it. I'm good with it. Drum monitoring operations. Come back here. Where'd you go? There we are. Oh, serious face. Serious face. Vino in the back there. Also serious face. Everybody's there. Oh, yeah. Good photos. Very cool. Okay. Well, what about 3:42? And I don't see anyone rolling in to help. Again, if anyone wants to come on in, come take the wheel. I'm out of material, so I don't know where I'm going from here.
Here is an international.
Well, let's see this. What do we got, Benz?
What you're dealing with here is an international intelligence web. Take his role in Iran-Contra. That was illicit arms trafficking and money laundering for a CIA activity that violated international law. In that one operation alone, you have the CIA in the U.S., you have Israeli intelligence, you have UK intelligence, and you have Saudi intelligence. That's 4 different countries' intelligence agencies running through this single person. So if the CIA wants to, or DOD or NSC wants to protect its relationship with those countries, it's probably got to get a consensus with those intelligence agencies as well. Mike, what you're dealing with here is an international intelligence web. Take his role in.
Trey.
Oh, there we go. Confirmed dead.
Yeah, Sandra, we just got this in literally 2 minutes ago, but Fox News can confirm that Iran's supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khamenei, is dead following Israeli strikes against his compound and location earlier today. A senior Israeli official confirming this news. Earlier tonight, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu describing the strikes not only against the supreme leader, but against much of the Iranian leadership.
News for us at this hour. Trey?
Yeah, Sandra, we just got.
Okay. Slap fight. Okay. Ooh.
And it really wasn't until the Iranians held back in their response. And it really wasn't until day 2 or day 3 or day 4 when the missile barrage was aimed at Israel. The reason I bring that up, I just want to get your initial reaction to what we have seen in the response on behalf of the Iranians. Maybe it suggests something, or maybe they're just going to repeat their pattern. But when the U.S. military says no American casualties, minimal damage so far, after hundreds of Iranian missile and drone attacks have been launched, what we don't know is, of those hundreds, how many were drones and how many were missiles. And I think it's very important because it appears to me that missiles are much more complicated, drones not so much. But if we don't see this, a measure of the activity that we saw in June on day 2 or day 3 or day 4, that tells us, I think, that the Israelis and the U.S. military has locked onto these missile sites in western Iran. If we have rendered them useless and taken them out, this thing militarily may be something that lasts only a couple of days.
Interesting. Okay, sorry. Reading some stuff. Okay.
The Iranian
Code Pink's Medea Benjamin. In DC. On the ground in DC, of course. Every time.
Hands up!
There she is. Yeah, right there. Right there. There she is.
Hands off Iran now! 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 Hands up!
Okie dokie. Sorry, I got my machine running a coding test right now. Actually, on my OpenClaw thing. That's what I keep checking up on. So it's sitting over there, right there, that little guy. So I have that running combination of cloud models and local models that are working together as a team to code more complex projects. That should get fun. That should get really fun. I'm benchmarking stuff right now and kind of testing each model and seeing what each one is capable of and figuring out who to assign to what role, et cetera, et cetera. It's so fascinating. I've been having so much fun building this. It's mind-blowing. But it's about to change everything this year. About to get really weird. About to get crazy, man. And I can just direct it from my phone. That's the best part. Like, I don't even have to be here dealing with it. I can just send it a message and say, hey, like, where are you at on that project we talked about earlier? You can update me, or you can tell it, hey, change that one idea, instead, put that box on the other tab, put the information about profit and losses on the front page, reorder stock of, such and such an item, and just goes and does it. I can just do what I want while it does all the tedious stuff for me. It's incredible. Fascinating stuff. Rockets over the UAE. Okay. That's from what do you call it? Goodfellas. It's Henry driving around before he gets busted for cocaine. Finally. It's funny. All right, come on. Give me more. Give me some more.
Assalamu alaikum, bitches. This is your New Supreme Leader speaking. Well, I warned Ali this would happen, and he just kept talking trash like we couldn't Maduro his old ass. Anyway, enjoy your new freedom, people. We're going to have bikini parties, all-you-can-eat buffets, dancing to country music, and singing karaoke all night long. We're going to have the best fiestas with delicious margaritas and sexy mamacitas. If you're a woman, you can finally take off that ridiculous bedsheet these idiots made you wear. You're free to be smart and beautiful and to wear whatever you want. Under my regime, you can now vote, as long as you vote Republican. If you think about it, you can only vote Republican because there will be no Democrat Party here. Everything they touch turns to shit, believe me. Assalamu alaikum.
Not bad. All right. News about Khamenei's death has reached Tehran. Screaming out of their windows in joy, chanting Javid Shah, long live the Shah. Yeah, there it is. Creepy. Okay. Is it London? DC. Yeah, DC.
Read them on! Read them on! I am pressing charge. Read them on!
Well, look at that. That didn't take long. This is New York City. All right, hold on. Got to text our little assistant here. Okay, good.
Learning. As we were just replaying the president's remarks from overnight, an FBI official reached out to let me know that counterterrorism and counterintel teams have been put on high alert, elevated alert nationwide, just in case there's any kind of retaliation from Iran or their proxies here in the United States.
Interesting.
Most people in the AI community don't yet understand.
Okay.
Which is, almost no one understands this. The intelligence density potential is vastly greater than what we're currently experiencing. So I think we're off by 2 orders of magnitude in terms of the intelligence density per gigabyte.
Of what's achievable?
Yes.
Per gigawatt of energy?
I'm so by file gigabyte.
Okay.
Wow.
If the file size of the AI, if you have a, say, intelligence per gigabyte.
Oh, okay. Yes, sir. On your laptop.
Power 2, but it's the same thing. Whatever.
So I hope he's right about that. That would mean good things.
So two orders of magnitude. Yes. Yeah. And you, like you said, you ringside, courtside seat. You would know. I'd say it's yes. Yeah. 2 orders of magnitude improvement in that's just algorithmic improvement. Same computer, and the computers are getting better. Yeah. So and bigger. See, they're getting better, and the budgets are getting bigger. So that's why I think it is like a 10x improvement per year type of thing, 1,000%. Yeah. And that's going to happen for the foreseeable future.
Wait.
Yeah. 2 orders of magnitude improvement in that's just algorithmic improvement. Same computer, and the computers are getting better. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yet again, glad I got in when I did. That's true. That's wow.
So and bigger. See, they're getting better, and the budgets are getting bigger. So that's why I think
also getting ridiculously more expensive. So
I think it is like a 10x improvement per year type of thing, 1,000%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's true. This is going to be a wild year.
On Iran, carried out by the United States, and I just want to read what exactly the New York City mayor said. Today's military strikes on Iran, carried out by the United States and Israel, mark a catastrophic escalation in an illegal war of aggression. Bombing cities, killing civilians, opening a new theater of war. Americans do not want this. They do not want another war in pursuit of regime change. They want relief from the affordability crisis. They want peace.
Oh my God, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I live in New York, Mr. Mamdani. You are more than welcome to come to one of my safe house. You're more than welcome to come and see my would-be assassin in the federal court. You didn't even dare to come and face them. Where were you when they sent killers here in New York City? You were crying for your aunt because she stopped using subway for simply in an illusion statement you made saying that she didn't feel safe because of wearing hijab. Really? I stopped using subway because of the would-be assassins being sent to beautiful New York City by the Islamic Republic. I know maybe you and many other people, they hate President Trump, but believe me, this is not the right time to shift your hatred and your anger from President Trump to the people of Iran. Innocent people. We are better allies to you, America, compared to these backward mullahs.
Just want to.
Oh, here we go.
This was an extraordinary 3-minute conversation, Yasmin. Let me read you the key takeaways. I asked President Trump if he had confirmation that Ayatollah Khomeini has in fact been killed. He said to me, I've spoken to a lot of people. We feel that is a correct story. Again, when I asked him about the reports that the Supreme Leader has in fact been killed, President Trump saying, we feel that is a correct story. He went on to say, quote, a large number of their leaders have also been killed. And that was significant. The fact that he said this was not just one person, Yasmin, the fact that, according to President Trump, in this phone call that I have with him, He believes it's a correct story that the supreme leader has been killed, along with, he says, a large amount of leadership. He says there were 3 attacks, and he says that in some of those subsequent attacks, that is what ultimately killed the leadership of Iran. I asked him when he would know that this operation has been a success. He said it is going very well. We're probably, in terms of 0 to 10, we're close to the 10 spot, if not there. It's going very well. Tremendous damage has been inflicted. The leadership is gone. Large portions of the leadership. They don't know how many, he says, but he says that the leadership has largely been wiped out from Iran. So a significant
huge news
revelation and development in this 3-minute conversation with President Trump. When I said specifically, sir, how will you know that this has been a success? He said, quote, Yasmin, I think it's already been a success.
Iranian missile hits Tel Aviv.
And the Israelis. I think that's what the calculation now is.
Damn, look at that thing.
Regime preservation.
Oof.
Did you get a more pragmatic figure presiding over this regime? Sure.
Aaron, I just want to break in for a moment because we're looking at live pictures in the air over Tel Aviv.
And the Israelis. I think that's what the calculation now is.
Damn, look at that thing. Just like hit the turbo boosters at the end.
Israelis. I think that's what the calculation now is. Regime.
Whoa. That is nuts. Not want to be on the receiving end of that.
This was an extraordinary 3-minute conversation.
Senior Iranian official. Israel assesses that more than 40 senior Iranian security and regime figures were killed in strikes during the opening operation that Israel launched this morning with the United States against the Iranian regime. This official goes on to say this is one of the largest regime decapitation operations conducted in modern warfare history, and that Israeli intelligence managed to infiltrate the Iranian security echelon, making the strikes possible, this official explained. Israel assesses that more than 40 senior Iranian security and regime figures were.
Yasmin, let me read you the key takeaways. I asked.
Oh, we heard you already. Okay.
Speak to the police. Do we speak to the police? No. Do we speak to the police? No. Do we speak to the police? No. If the police try to speak to you, let them know we have a police liaison in the front. Tell them to come touch us. If the police come to you, tell them to come to. Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? Who keeps us safe? We said we have the police interrupted on the pretext of even saving people and disrupted the complete peace plans that we had, didn't we? Shame! Shame! We know that the police have no interest in artists. We live in the war in Iran that is counter to their interests. They want the war to go on. That's right. They're going for the same benefit for genocide and bomb in Iran.
Alright. This app is lunch from you, Atari, my 104 pages for Aaron Stutters. Oh. Interesting. What? On February 28th, exactly Garlic predicted Israel and Iran. When did the prediction get made? Kronk gave the clearest single-day answer in the original run. Saturday, February 28th, tied to the outcome of talks in Geneva. So just a few. Oh, disconnected there. Sorry. I think my my machine's working, so it yeah. If the video is going choppy, that's why. It's in the middle of a benchmark, so hopefully you're at least hearing me. Next time I'm gonna switch it over to using CPU for video streaming here. It should work a little better. My GPU is currently being used by the other computer, so. All right. Oh no, we lost that footage. Oh well. I don't know what that was. Is that gunshots? Fireworks? Yeah, I don't know. Whoa. Wow.
Thank God.
That would be quite a sight.
There are reports as we come on the air that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has been killed in today's joint attack by the U.S. and Israel. This according to a senior Israeli official and a major Israeli broadcaster reporting Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been shown a photo of Khamenei's body. Khamenei has been the leader of Iran since 1989. This would be big news if in fact true. He's the longest serving autocrat in the Middle East. The 86-year-old previously served as Iran's president, and he has controlled Iran's foreign and military policy, including its nuclear program, for decades. So let's get to Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan, who's been following this for us as well. Margaret, what do we know at this hour?
Well, Tony, I can tell you what my sources and our CBS reporting is at this hour. And a senior Israeli official told me that based on the bomb damage assessment seen at this point, the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei, is presumed to be dead. That is as precise as the Israeli government is getting at this point in the confirmation they are sharing within their own government. Outside their government, within the political party of Benjamin Netanyahu, the prime minister, our reporters in Israel is hearing that members of the political party he belongs to are also being informed that Khamenei is dead. So you don't yet have official confirmation in terms of, for example, something as hard as a DNA sample, something that the U.S. government often waits for, but you have, based on a bomb damage assessment, a bomb damage from that explosion on the compound where he was believed to be earlier today. That is what the Israeli government is signaling. And you had earlier today an oblique reference made by the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, in a speech where he said it looked like the signs are that the Ayatollah is no more. So that is what we know at this hour. Significant that the 86-year-old supreme leader, riddled with cancer, but very much the institution of the Iranian regime himself, is presumed to be dead at this hour in this surprise attack launched by the U.S. and Israel, which is swiftly looking like it may become a regional war.
Margaret, as you're speaking there, we were looking at pictures of the palace where the Ayatollah is thought to have been, smoke coming out of the top of it. If this reporting turns out to be true, and it certainly appears to be so.
Yep. Okay. Come on. Fresh goods.
Other relevant departments and agencies to begin the process.
Oh, this is after that missile hit in Tel Aviv. Oh, geez. Wow. Yikes. Okay.
Support these strikes.
Bolton, oh God.
But obviously there's going
What does Mustache Man have to say?
I know you support these strikes, but obviously there's going to be a lot of the president's supporters and people in the United States who listen to what he said on the campaign trail and certainly what he said in his first term and say, you know, this is the president who said he was against regime change in the Middle East, that he was against starting new wars. What do you make of what would you say to them tonight?
Well, I think they made the mistake of believing that Donald Trump had a consistent philosophy, national security strategy, and policy, which he doesn't. My only regret is that I wasn't persuasive enough in the first term to get to this point.
In terms of the regime change that the president is calling for, I mean, we have no idea right now what is the status of Iran's supreme leader. But I think a key question is what would happen next if he is ultimately killed in this attack?
Oh, he did.
Well, I think at this point, really, the Revolutionary Guard is the governing force in Iran, and that's the element of state power that needs to be destroyed. I think that the division of labor between Israel and the United States makes a lot of sense, but I think the real unknown question at this point is how much we and the Israelis have coordinated with the opposition. What we need for the Iranians themselves to be doing is looking for weak links in the leadership, looking for the tensions and the fractures and the divisions that can pull a regime apart at the top and bring significant elements over to the side of the opposition so that At some point, the military refused to fire on civilians. Even the Revolutionary Guard rank and file could break and come over. This is the kind of work behind the scenes that doesn't require us to tell the opposition what we're doing militarily, but requires us to be working with them. I'm not sure that's happening, and that's worrying.
Bolton knows a lot about regime change. Last night. No idea. All right, come on.
Dumbass piece of shit! You dumbass piece of shit!
New Yorker confronts stop war on Iran protesters.
You have no idea what the fuck you're talking about! Yes! You're a fucking moron! And all you retarded idiots here are fucking brain dead! Do not feed the troll! Do not feed the troll!
Whoever this old guy is, good for you, buddy.
You're okay. You're just so fucking stupid. No, you're just dumb. I'm amazed how dumb you are.
Man after my own heart.
You love wars, bro? Fucking dumbass. You're dumbasses. Oh my God. We are done with the and this city's protecting you. It's falling apart. And you can I like it. Yeah, you're all dumbasses. You gotta make it nice instead of nice.
Iranian UAV dives in and explodes on impact near a hotel. Residents freaking out. Fighter jet. More likely it is a drone.
Fighter jet.
Oh my God. Whoa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Dang, bro. The heck? Oh my God. I don't know. This looks like it could be AI. Oh my God. That. You see that? That's not right. Oh my God. That is... There's something off with that. That's bizarre. Look at that. Oh my God. Okay. I think I see what it is. Oh my God. I see what it is. Oh my God. It's because of the zoom out. The phone changes lenses, and there's some weird stuff that happens when it does that. They try to make it like seamless. Okay.
Oh my God.
Not AI. I'm pretty sure that's real. Yeah.
That's what the calculation now is. Regime preservation. Could you get a more pragmatic figure presiding over this regime? Sure. That's what the calculation now is.
Oh, that one we saw. Supporters of the Shah marching outside the White House. Oh, here's the aftermath of that missile strike in Tel Aviv. Yes.
חולצו כל הלכודים? אנחנו בסריקות. עדיין בסריקות.
Okay. Oh, just got a notification about an Iranian drone hitting Dubai International Airport. Evacuations underway at the airport. Yikes. Ah, damn it. Oh, geez. Dang, bro. Crazy. That's the interceptor trying to get it. Nope.
Oh, fuck!
Dang, dude. It's in Qatar. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. Stanford just analyzed the privacy policies of the 6 biggest AI companies in America. Amazon, Anthropic, Google, Meta, Microsoft, and of course OpenAI. All 6 use your conversations with their chatbots to train their models by default without meaningfully asking. Here's what the paper actually found. Results are worse than you think. Every single company collects your chat data and feeds it back into model training by default. I would think people would have realized that. Duh. Some retain your conversations indefinitely. Yeah, that's a big one. This is like one of the chief reasons I'm just so glad that I am going to have access to something reasonably powerful to run local AI systems, because like this, it's just crazy, man. The amount of info they can get from you. No expiration, no auto delete. Data just sits there forever, feeding future versions of the model. Some of these companies let human employees read your chat transcripts as part of the training process. Yep. Non-anonymized summaries, your actual conversations. Here's where it gets genuinely dangerous. For companies like Google, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon, companies that run search engines also, and social media platforms, e-commerce sites, cloud services, your AI conversations don't stay inside the chatbot. Oh yeah, it gets used for all their other shit too. Yep. Would love to know more about this study. Need to bookmark that. Hegseth announced he's issuing an internal audit of Microsoft's digital cloud system after Chinese nationals used it to reportedly hack the DoD. Yeah. Okay.
Бахнуло. В Дубае летают иранские ракеты, и мы сидим в ресторане и слышим...
Sitting in a restaurant in Dubai, we hear explosions.
София, как тебе? Только что одна тут пролетела и бахнула. Но Дубай все равно.
Jeez, that looks expensive.
Пришли покушать карабинеров.
We came to eat crabs. That's a shrimp, dude.
Я еще смотрю, а в ресторане никого нет.
I'm looking and there's no one in the restaurant. The restaurant is empty.
Ресторан пустой. Мы здесь одни. Может, все-таки, когда ракеты иранские по Дубаю летают, надо дома сидеть? Но, не знаю, я как-то в Дубае себя чувствую безопасно даже с летающими ракетами. Поэтому буду сидеть кушать креветочку, а вам хорошего
You just eat the shrimp and enjoy the fireworks show, man.
выходных. Это же суббота. Какие ракеты? Пускай они куда-то летят в другую сторону.
Why not? Okay. Yep. Jeez. App of the day, huh? Anthropic. Yep, look at that. Oh, just behind ChatGPT, huh? Let me see where it's at now. Apps. Really put that top, yeah, top free. Oh, they're still at number 2. Claude's consumer users have grown 2.2x in the last 6 weeks. The heck? For real? Oh. Wow. Yes. I wonder why that is. Interesting. Gemini growing faster than ChatGPT too. Weird. Or worse. I don't know why. Bizarre. Interesting. Okay. Well, what else we got? We got like 30 minutes left.
我々は予備的な予備的な動員を開始した。長距離爆撃機、空中給油機、そして後方支援部隊の事前展開が進行中だ。USS エイブラハム・リンカーン空母打撃群は南シナ海から中東へ移動しており、セントゴムの抑止力 化し即応的な打撃能力を提供する。一方イラン側では革命防衛隊が最高度の防衛体制に入っている。ババアするまますらんのような長距離防空システムを含む多層防空網およびヒズボラフーシ派などのシーア派武装組織を含む地域全体の勢力により彼らは米軍の航空作戦に対抗する構え。中国とロシアは我々の次の行動を注視している。それは何だ。それは上の判断だ。
God, it's so crazy. So crazy how good that is. That fast. Interesting. Okay.
And do something that we never thought AI could do. We are clearly in that middle phase with frontier science and AI, where you have all these glimmers of like, wow, it can do something that we never thought AI could do. So, you know, what more interesting place to apply it than science? I think it may be the most tangible way that we all feel the impact of AGI. If we dropped like GPT-9 inside of ChatGPT for you today, I'm sure it would be awesome. But maybe even more awesome would be that we have all of these new materials and we have superconductivity and we understand the nature of the universe and we have personalized medicine and, you know, like that's how AI, I think, and AGI will really change our lives. So,
and fusion power.
Man, like why not try and, you know, accelerate science and bring about the science of 2050 but in 2030 instead. And that's our goal.
Because like what if we're not ready for that, yo? Just saying. Can't just accelerate everything as fast as you want. Pedal to the metal. Damn the consequences.
All ships, attention all ships.
No idea what that is. What on earth is this? Imagine being in Vegas and hitting rock bottom, getting put in handcuffs, and a street performer instantly turns your arrest into a live freestyle track. Not bad. Can you imagine being that girl? God, what a trip that would be, dude. Yeah. That would have me questioning my sanity, I think. Dubai. Wow. Wow.
سلامتی مرده شدن خامنه ای بزن بریم
Is that booze? Do they have booze? I don't know. They have alcohol? I don't think they... Not legally, anyway. You get in big trouble for that. Oh, alright. Oh, there we go. Hey, Steph. Khamenei, Trump just posting here. One of the most evil people in history is dead. This is not only justice for the people of Iran, but for all great Americans and those people from many countries throughout the world that have been killed or mutilated by Khamenei and his gang of bloodthirsty thugs. He was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems. That's I guarantee you, OpenAI and, well, would have been Anthropic if they hadn't turned it down. Yep, he was unable to avoid our intelligence and highly sophisticated tracking systems, and working closely with Israel, there was not a thing he or other leaders that have been killed along with him could do. This is the single greatest chance for the Iranian people to take back their country. We are hearing that many of their IRGC military and other security and police forces no longer want to fight and are looking for immunity from us. As I said last night, now they can have immunity. Later, they only get death. Hopefully, the IRGC and police will peacefully merge with the Iranian patriots and work together as a unit to bring back the country to the greatness it deserves. That process should soon be starting, in that not only the death of Khamenei, but the country has been, in only one day, very much destroyed and even obliterated. The heavy and pinpoint bombing, however, will continue uninterrupted throughout the week, or as long as necessary to achieve our objective of peace throughout the Middle East and indeed the world. Okay.
The strike had to be moved up based on, have told me that the strike had to be moved up based on intelligence and this so-called target of opportunity. There was a deliberate decision to accelerate the timeline and to strike during the daytime, which is extremely unusual. Usually the U.S. would not strike during the daytime, but they wanted to catch the senior leadership off guard. It was a Saturday morning during Ramadan, and it was also Shabbat during the day. And that's when Israel took the opportunity and dropped those 30 bombs on the compound, and the U.S. simultaneously launched strikes against all of the military targets that then we've seen the results of today. I've also learned that the U.S. alone, the U.S. military alone, has carried out nearly 900 strikes in the last airstrikes in the last 12 hours. That is an incredibly high number of strikes in the first 12 hours of this operation, Sandra.
Oh, this freaking idiot. Jackhole. Tired of seeing that face. Whoa. Trippy. Wow. Huh. They need to find one that has better internal metronome, because this one is clearly dumb. Can't do it on the beats. This is like kindergarten stuff, my dear. Come on. Train wreck. Okay. More missiles.
Where's the laser?
Can't even see anything there. That's boring. All right. Where to now? We got 15 minutes left. I tagged anything from the last week worth checking out. Oh, when are we gonna get to see that bullshit? That's supposed to air on C-SPAN or something, right? The depositions. When do we get to see that stuff? I wanna see it. I wanna see her get questioned over Pizzagate. We get a Monday? I hope so. I hope so. Sooner the better. Footage of street parties breaking out in Tehran. Wow. Oh, hey, don't forget to please support PSP. I know I haven't said this in a while, mostly because I haven't had to, but I know the bank account for the LLC is getting a little low at this point. So if anyone would like to help top up, could probably use it. I imagine we'll have we'll have next month's bills coming due here pretty shortly, and we're I think it's sitting at like $100 in the account. So, what am I looking for? What is it? DonorBox.org. There it is. Yeah, we see. Look at that. That is for the entire month. Look at that. We've got nothing this month, man. Zilch. So please, it does cost money to keep things running. And thank you to those of you that have sent so far this month. But not many. It looks like only it's 161. So thank you. Wouldn't be running all this time without people doing this every month. Okay. 10 minutes before Trump even revealed strikes against Iran, a U.S. nonprofit network funded by China-based tycoon Neville Roy Singham activated foot soldiers to hit the streets for pro-regime anti-U.S. protests. Huh? How you know that? Groups funded by Singham swung into action even as the initial bombs were dropping. At 2:34 a.m. Eastern Time, the Answer Coalition, a nonprofit project whose leaders described themselves as Marxist and communist, announced emergency nationwide day of action today. Stop the war with Iran. 2:34 a.m. That is like right when he announced it, basically. Yep. 10 minutes later, Trump posted the video confirming the attack on Iran. So how does that work? Where did they get the info? Were there rumors already flying around before Trump officially announced it? I wasn't looking, so. Creepy. He probably got tipped off by China. Just a guess. Video shows crowds gathering at the site of a military strike in Tehran, where burning cars line the road near a destroyed police booth. Yikes. Whoa. White House has just called a travel photo lid, meaning Trump is not expected to make any appearances before reporters today. Huh. Busy. That's funny. I'm going to read that later. Okay.
At Mar-a-Lago with President Trump tracking and overseeing all.
I think we saw that. What do we got here? New York City protest live.
Tell us about these protests in Times Square.
Well, so believe it or not, New York actually woke up calm this morning, and then the news started registering and hitting New Yorkers. And we saw plans of protesters gathering come out as early as 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. And so that's what you're seeing behind me. And just like Minneapolis, they gather for a little bit. So it started at 2, and then they start mobilizing. And so they're just making their way out now into the city. They've started yelling chants. The one that caught my attention the most is when they yelled, "The biggest threat in the USA today, the biggest threat in the world today is Donald Trump and the USA."
So they're chanting. Do we have any indication as to what groups are specifically involved in these protests? I know in the past that you see revolutionary communism, that you see unions, members of the SEIU. Any indications as to who exactly these people were? Because typically these are not organic.
Mm-hmm. So I've seen signs that say, you know, the working class are against this. And then also when I saw the initial, organizing of the protests on Facebook post, Reddit, it was the Socialist Group in America was organizing this. And there was a fund, a nonprofit behind it. And I believe the nonprofit was, a Unity and Change or something like that. But as we've seen in Minneapolis and like many places, these nonprofits, they use these trade names and it's perfectly legal. But they'll use like Defend the 612 in Minneapolis, which is like the Minneapolis area code. And they use it to make it sound local and make it sound organic. But then when you start digging into things, it starts showing they're actually tied to larger organizations. And that's what I'm wondering is happening in New York today behind some of these organizers.
Now, one question I had, you mentioned working American Workers or Workers' Party. Was it possibly the Working Families Party, the WFP? Because we know that Working Families Party is directly tied to Zohran Mamdani. This was a group that he was on the ballot under the Working Families Party. They are a full-on Democrat socialist group. Wouldn't surprise me if there's some overlap between the Working Families Party and the mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani, and these groups that we're seeing. Is there any indication there?
No, I haven't seen a sign that said that logo directly, but I have actually been in touch with the mayor's office. And because now we've seen the mayor has commented on this. denouncing the United States attacks. And they told me that he is not so far planning to be at any protests today. But what we have to remember, Jack, is Zohar Mamdani does have ties to these protests. And if he weren't the sitting mayor of New York, he would be out here with the people. And so I'm interested to follow that and see what happens today.
How many protesters? What can you tell us regarding the size? Because I see we're playing your video from earlier, but as you can see that they don't seem to be behind you very much anymore.
Yes, like I said, they've moved out into the city. I want to say 100 have gathered. Remember, it's very early in the day, but I do just want to highlight they were passing out this sign, and this sign is actually very interesting. It says, "Stop Trump's war on Iran." And what they were handing out has said, Iran has not attacked the United States and has no intention to. Well, and maybe you can confirm this, but I've seen reporting that says that Iran has actually struck U.S. military bases abroad and overseas. And then another interesting thing about this sign is it says that Iran has no intentions. It says that Iran has no intentions to build a nuclear weapon. And, that contradicts what President Trump said today in his speech on Truth Social, where he said he has given, Iranian officials the options to de-escalate, and they're not de-escalating, and they're continuing to pursue nuclear capabilities.
Okay. Let's see. Whoa, that is loud. But show me.
Do something bad to us, we are going to do things to you that have never been done before.
The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer.
I love these.
2024 is our final battle.
Love it. Excellent stuff. All right. Israeli Air Force fighter jets precisely struck military targets across Iran, eliminating 7 senior officials of the Iranian defense leadership. Ali Shamkhani, Mohammed Pakpour, Saleh Asadi, Mohammed Shirazi, Aziz Nasirzadeh, Hossein Jabal Amilian, and Reza Muzaffari Nia. The world is a better place without them. Jeez, no pictures even exist of a couple of them. Muslims are yelling Allahu Akbar through the streets of Washington, D.C., holding no war signs. Well, too bad. Oh, this freaking guy, man. Creepy.
Well, they got the signs printed up fast.
Yeah, it didn't take long, did it?
Yeah.
Yep. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Enjoying the ride,
Yeah, history happening again.
Yeah.
I had like a totally other show about other things. But then really cool things happen. I mean, I was looking at the news yesterday, and I saw stuff about drones, and then where could the Ayatollah be hiding out? And yeah, it's like they're saying secret bunkers, but they had pictures of the bunkers. And I'm like, yeah, something might happen.
Yep.
But then I saw Trump partying at Mar-a-Lago, which was like cover.
Yeah.
It was a total fake out.
Yeah, I
Because I
agree.
went to bed. I'm like, okay, I didn't feel so great. I went to bed. And I got up today. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I saw. I happened to be awake when he posted the announcement at like 2:30. I was like, "Oh my goodness, here we go! World's changing overnight again." Yep.
Yeah, but I mean, I think this is just another example of that, like behind the scenes. If Trump says something and then it doesn't happen, and it's like all of a sudden it happens, that Trump's like got people that are planners, and they know, and there's no leaks.
Yep.
You know, that's what's so funny about it. And we're not used to there not being leaks. And we're also not used to people who are actually doing what they're saying they're doing and actually planning something. Usually it's all just some horrific globalist nightmare.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be over pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that there was rumors they got the other guys, but now it's kind of coming out that they did. I don't know, maybe they all went to the same pager store. But, yeah, I mean, this is ridiculous. There's so many Iranian sleeper cells. You can see them marching in the streets. And I don't even think those people are necessarily Persian people.
Yep.
They're more part of the jihad movement.
Bingo.
Because, I mean, you live in an urban area with a lot of Persian people.
Yes, yeah, we do have quite a few around here.
In the world have been Persian people.
Yeah, they're great people.
Totally don't dig this stuff.
Yeah, I went to high school with a lot of them. Identify as Persian, like the whole nine.
Yeah,
Yep.
This whole Iranian thing's like not even their thing.
Yep.
They don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, a lot of Persians in Chicago, and also, and really good food.
Yeah. Yep. Funny. Well, I will step out and let you get to it.
Alrighty. Well, good seeing you. See you tomorrow morning.
Yep. Yeah. Have a good show.
Hey, everybody.
All right, that's it, YouTube. I'm out. I'm hungry. I'm starving. I need to go grab a plate. So I will catch you guys later. Have a good Saturday, and I will see you on Monday for yet another crazy week of news. And it's going to be a big one this week, obviously. Can you tell? Bye-bye.